Okay, now we're live. It's the first time that's ever happened. It's just like, nah, you're not going live right now.
We're running into all sorts of new problems today.
I think I'm going to buy a blueprint. The blueprints are even cheaper.
Oh, and then hunt for the character in the packs. The pack.
Yeah, I might even already have them because, like, here, let's see blueprints. The big thing for me is picking the right position because, like, I don't want a cornerback because I have 2 level 15 epic cornerbacks, so I have to replace them to play in the events because that's how the new events work. Is you can't just have the player on your bench; he needs to be in your lineup. So I'd be replacing one of my best players with like a level 1 rare, which is going to hurt my score.
Yeah.
So the positions that don't matter are wide receiver, kicker, and offensive line, pretty much. So like if you get a wide receiver, you can put him on your special teams, which doesn't make him in the game at all.
Yeah.
And then kicker, same thing, doesn't really matter. And then offensive line also does not really matter. So
That's really good.
I do not have a Tomlinson. Crappy thing is I need all my points now. Like, it costs so much more to upgrade your players that I can't just like I was using my in-game currencies to upgrade those blueprints, but now I kind of need those in-game currencies. So I don't know. Don't know what I'm going to do yet. This would be my choice, though. For 4 myth, you can get a Lake and Tomlinson, but then you have to pull this base player. I don't have this base player. But it's 3x the price if you want to buy him without.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the new program's called the Kickoff. There's 230 listed. I don't know. I might just chill. 5, that's within buy range, but that's a DT. That means you have to replace one of your defensive guys, which sucks.
Yeah.
But depending on your team, like that might not be that big of a deal. I just have an epic defensive tackle that's level 9, so.
What up, Dre? I have a bad back. I fucking ruptured a disc and had a spinal hematoma. I forget what they called it. It was really bad for like 6 months or something. I could barely like walk or move. I took like, let's see, the big part of it was it took me almost a month to get like the treatment that I needed because it takes a long time for insurance to like approve treatments. But I ended up getting steroid injections, like epidural injections into my spine once a week for a whole month. And by like the 3rd time, it was really feeling a lot better. God damn, that really sucked.
Not ortho advice, but I definitely have something that could work. I think we're into suggestions. I think this is the money right here for 13 myth, Lake and Tomlinson. I'm going to chill for a minute. I'm not going to buy one right now, but either that or Amari Cooper. But Amari Cooper's set 18, but you can stick him on your fucking bench. It's also kind of cool they added Russell Wilson used to be the Seahawks quarterback. They traded him, though. Now he's on the Denver Broncos. But pretty sure that's what my parents named their dog after.
Oh, Wilson? That Wilson? It wasn't Wilson Chan?
It was not.
No, that's too bad. Oh, okay, let's see. A product called Not a Char. Chair? That's a lot.
Tyler Higbee for only 8 is not bad either.
I'll have to look this up, dude. Thanks for sharing. I've been just doing physical therapy stretching it. Yeah, I've just been doing physical therapy stretches at home.
I can look it up right now. Original backer since 1985. Not a chair is a chair that you wear. This sounds crazy. Oh my gosh.
Whoa, this looks wild.
Just like a strap that keeps you in good posture.
Yeah, so my back issue is like literally the lowest vertebrae in my spine. So this looks like that. Yeah, that bottom one looks like it's not too far off of something helpful.
This honestly looks like the thing that that one dude was selling at the Breakman from Consumer Break had some like BRL version of this.
Yeah,
I thought this was gonna be something different though. That like there's like a backpack chair you can get. I thought that's what it's gonna be as like a wearable chair. Like those are. Let's see.
a backpack chair, like a what are those called? Like a paramotor chair.
What's paramotor?
It's like a where you strap like a giant fan on your back and have a parachute, and then you fly around. But the fan that you have like it's like on your backpack, and then there's like a built-in chair, so that once you're flying, you're like sitting. God, I want
It's not that chair.
That one has
You strap to your back. This is what I was talking about, I think. Have you seen these? This is what I thought you meant by a wearable chair.
That's like from that what was that? The jury duty show. That guy like comes in with that on. And he like can't get on the shuttle bus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will look into that, dude. Thanks for sharing the code. I'll check this out.
Can you post that in Discord, KY? I can't click the link.
Let's see, PFP project I follow on Flow doing a Rivals collab. Damn, that's dope.
Oh, those are the break. You get $10
yeah,
off if you use those codes.
That's cool.
Why would you need two though?
Maybe if you want.
I guess maybe for you and Paul, if you wanted two of them.
Yeah, or if you go like if you don't work from home and you have like a second location you go to work at. I used to keep like a stand-up desk thing at the studio where I was working. Well, I didn't even keep it there. I like bitched about it and they got me a stand-up desk, so it wasn't even mine, but it was pretty cool.
What's going on, Cat the Helper? Cat Helper, not Cat the Helper. I just read words that don't exist as part of that.
Cat
only weighs 1.1 pounds and go anywhere.
Did you see that? Like, there's like a viral little clip of some guy who's like laying on the sidewalk with someone else walks up filming him, and he's just like, "Sorry, I'm a cat lover." That's really funny.
No. Have you seen the guy that turned himself into a dog? I feel like we watched that on here, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we did. The guy who had like that fucking is like in Japan or something, where he has like this giant like lassie looking dog costume.
Japanese man spends $14,000, then turns himself into a collie.
Maybe it's not in Japan, but the guy is Japanese. That's what I don't know.
I feel like it's probably
a very elaborate costume. It looks quite good. It looks like he's a dog. So like the next level of a furry costume.
I feel like this isn't like a kink thing though. It's just weird.
We're the exact wrong market for chairs. That's funny. That is true. Damn, dude. Yeah, it looks like a. Yeah, I wonder if it is like a kink thing or if it's just like a. I don't know. Maybe it's like non-sexual.
He's so wrapped up in there. I don't know. Like,
I
don't think he's having sex in that suit.
Right.
It looks really good though. Like I would almost really not know there's a dog in there. Somebody didn't tell me.
It's a little uncanny, but
it kind of looks like a fucking like a stuffed like dead dog, like a what do they call that?
Yeah, like a taxidermy.
Yeah, it looks like a taxidermy, which makes it even creepier a little bit. This feels like it should be in like a horror movie. Like whoever's in this suit should be killing people. I think that's also because of a movie I watched, though. I think we are going to do some off the rails today. So do some off the rails, do some tech stuff. But let me see if I can.
I knew a couple furries that I worked with. They were like furries, and they would go to like the furry conventions, and the one girl, she made the mascot costumes, and you could commission like your own fursona, and she would make it like really high end. I think they started around $5,000 and were generally around $7,000 to actually like get like a custom one. But they were really, really well made. And like I talked with her a lot about it, and it was absolutely not a sexual thing for her. And she was a little offended by like the saying, because she said that like the sexual like furry fursona thing is like a very small subgroup of like the furry community, and that that's the subgroup that everybody who isn't in the community is aware of. So everybody who sees it just assumes that it's like a sex thing, and it's definitely not. And I will admit, like we went out to get like donuts or something, and she was wearing her fushana was like a goat. She had like this yellow goat costume. It was really fucking cool. But like, man, people were so excited. She came into like the Krispy Kreme donuts place, and people were taking pictures, and like kids were like like stoked, and she was like getting into it. And I could see why people do it aside from the kinky side of it, I guess. Same with that dog costume, I'm sure. Like, when he goes to the park, I'm sure he gets a lot of attention, and it's not necessarily a kink thing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
An NFL Rivals collab.
Yeah, baby.
I wouldn't mind making a Neon Space NFL Rivals collab, since that is probably my favorite friggin' NFT project as far as I play it every single day.
The wolf mask.
That's what that saying this reminds me
of. It was.
All right, we are leaving the flatlands, and we are heading up towards the mountaintop.
This movie is like...
Oh, is that a horror movie?
Yeah, I don't know if I can even say this was a good movie, but I enjoyed it. It was weird. It's almost like Blair Witch style. Like it's shot like kind of like found footagey, but the tone of the movie is just really creepy.
Yeah,
I feel like it's also pretty obvious. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like you know what's going to happen before you even watch the movie, but watching it play out is kind of like the unsettling part.
At $1,000 for the day, filming services. Discretion is appreciated.
Wonderfully unsettling. That's about
it. A yellow door. I'm realizing that no one knows I'm here.
Hi! Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm assuming you're Aaron.
Yeah, I'm Aaron. Nice to meet you.
Joseph. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is going to be a good day.
So the reason I've hired you is because I have terminal brain cancer, and I want you to film me to make a video diary for my unborn son. You ready for this?
Okay. Joseph.
This is called an adventure. We don't know exactly where we're going, but I have a feeling. When you follow those feelings, great things can happen. Don't ever forget that.
Joseph?
What'd you say?
Is it like take place in the course of a single day?
No, there's like some, I think, or I don't know. Now I'm forgetting if it's the second one, because there's a second one. I think I watched both of them. I think the second one has some time jumps, but this one might be mostly a single day. I feel like it's a couple days, though.
There was about 2 seconds there where it looked like you wanted to kill me.
Joseph, I think I'm going to head back. You see my keys?
One drink, okay?
Bottoms up.
Yeah, that was the mask to remind me of the dog thing. I was like,
there it is.
Make
yeah.
a little creepier. Murder people in the dog outfit. That would be super creepy.
You already knew about it.
Hello. You need to get out of that house right now.
Joseph.
I like how he's a painting of like a dog wolf thing on his wall too.
Joseph.
Why do you look scared? Don't be scared. It'll all be over soon.
Oh, there he is.
Boom. Creep.
Creep.
What's the after? I like the
Okay.
Duplass brothers though. That's Mark Duplass. He and his brother are both filmmakers and directors. Mark is more of an actor, but his brother is a director, and they co-direct movies. They did like a Duplass
Looks pretty
Brothers
fun.
Productions. They did Cyrus is probably one of their bigger ones,
Oh, with Jonah Hill
and John
and
C. Riley. That
John
one's
C.
pretty good.
Riley. Yeah, those are big stars.
Jeff Who Lives at Home is also pretty good. That one's with
Oh yeah, I
Ed
saw that
Helms
one.
and Jason Segel. It's about like a lot of their movies are really like character pieces where it's like very much about the relationship between people. Like these are two brothers who don't get along because like one's successful and one's a burnout. Safety Not Guaranteed was also a pretty good movie. That was about that
Oh
like
yeah, is that them
that like
too? Yeah, I like
yeah,
that
that
one
was that
too.
like Craigslist post that went viral of like, hey, do you want to go back in time with me? You'll get paid after we get back. Must bring your own weapons. I've only done this once before. Safety Not Guaranteed. Which that was
Yeah,
like an iconic friggin' I feel like this actually they have like a decent like Adult Beginners was also a decently big movie. I feel like the Skeleton Twins. I've seen like almost all of these movies. Wait, they did
yeah. I was gonna say,
Tangerine?
damn,
I didn't know that.
I haven't seen that one.
But they're very
I've
like
seen that.
indie films. They kind of just have some like crossover success where like some of the movies they generally get like really well critically reviewed, but they don't make a lot of money. But I've seen like I don't
What's
know, I
the
started
name
with the
of one?
Puffy Chair and I liked this movie. They call it mumblecore is like the genre of the movie where it's like there isn't really a story. It's just like a bunch of scenes with people talking. Sort of like I'd compare it to like Clerks, where like if you just say the plot of Clerks, not a lot happens in that movie. It's mostly about like the conversations they're having, and I
Yeah,
kind
I'm
of
trying to
enjoyed
think
it.
of the plot. Isn't it just like the guy he's trying to take a day off from work and just keeps getting called into work? Like that's kind of the plot, right?
Yeah, he ends up going to a funeral, and then you know like someone dies in his. Doesn't someone die in the? I don't know. There's some plot points,
Yeah, someone dies in the toilet, like in the bathroom,
but I'd say
and
like the Puffy Chair has even less. Like here's the Here is the plot. The film concerns a relationship between men, women, brothers, mothers, fathers, and friends. The protagonist discovers an eBay replica of a lounge chair that was used by his father a long time ago, resulting road trip to pick up the chair, deliver the chair as a birthday present for the father in Atlanta takes an interesting twist. So it's kind of like a road trip movie, but like there isn't really a plot. The entire plot is they go and pick up a chair. Like if you're just gonna like
okay.
describe it, but that's a full movie. I don't know. I haven't seen this since I was like in college. It might not hold up. I was into weird indie films in college, but I do like these directors. I feel like they make interesting movies.
Let's see the 3D digital card viewer. Hold on, is that Prism? I might have messed with that. Prism. If it's
Yeah,
an app, I
Prism
think
on that's made by
that was 6-bit glitch, right? Or
no,
Pixiegon.
this is something different though. And yes, I have seen you post this in the Atomic Kings chat. There's like a I don't know if you want
Oh,
to post the link. Are you under Discord? Because I can't click links on. I can maybe find it in the Atomic Kings chat though.
I guess if you look for RAWR, RAR.
I think Jose is his name.
Oh, and this is the Rivals crossover that KY was talking about. The collab.
Yeah,
That's cool. I haven't gotten into Flow yet, but I do see like projects on Flow that I'm like, this isn't like the worst.
I'm less concerned with centralization than I was when I wrote off Flow for being centralized.
Right? Like the projects are cool, and I don't really hate the idea of like a centralized control that keeps me from getting a rug pulled.
Really, as long as the people controlling the centralization aren't corrupt, it's not really a big
Yeah.
deal. All right, so now I need to put in a hash, right?
Oh wow,
Let's see.
that's actually pretty cool.
So
you
let's
put in the
find.
E hash?
Yeah, I gotta find a hash for one of our Neon Space NFT. Yeah, I like kind of like a virtual version of a card because we also have card fronts and backs on our stuff. So
Oh, you have to put in the front and back hash, and then it'll pull it up.
I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, let's see how it goes.
So this is for horrors. Except this is not loading now. Hey, there we go. Okay, so you do have to do and back. So let's see. Let's find a neon space card. We got. Does it do videos? I'm not sure if it does videos. We'll find out. Front equals. It looks like this is animated though, so. And back equals. I'm hearing some weird noises. What is that? Is this the music? No, I think it's coming from your mic. Are you breathing directly into the mic? All right, there we go.
Do you still hear it? I was turning it off or muting myself.
It's gone now. You see that though?
Yeah, that's super dope. What? I like the little reflections too, like it's encased in like a resin or something.
I know it's also early, but I feel like if you made a front end interface where people could paste in the front and the back so they don't have to do it, or even like, I guess the problem is like the naming convention isn't always the same. Like people might not always have it as back, so you can't just have it pulled from the immutable attributes. But I do think like at least a spot for people to paste in the hashes so they don't have to figure out themselves in the URL would be nice.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, this is really cool. It definitely is nice to see your artwork like that.
Let's see if we can get like a neon version. Let's see how it does that. I wonder if it'll play the music. Probably not. Wait, let's see.
Maybe it supports MP4s, it says.
We'll find out. Back equals front equals. This is cool though. I like it. I think it's loading.
Yeah, that's dope. That's a cool thing to like make for people to eyeball their collectibles digitally.
Oh, there it is. It's cool how you can get a video as a card. That's something you can't get in real life.
Yeah, right. And then you flip around. Yeah. That is pretty fun.
Yeah, I feel like you can maybe work with specific collections, and collections could like input their own. Like all of ours are the same. It's always just video and then back. I guess that's not true because our lower rarities don't have video.
Yeah, they say image instead of video.
Maybe you could have like creators type in their own format to make their own galleries. I don't know. It's definitely a bit of it.
Yeah,
hard to automate.
Offload the busy work on the creator who wants to have the support, so that you don't have to do it for everybody.
Yeah, if there's a way you could make it so we could input it, I'd be happy to go through and input so people could look at ours. But I also don't know how hard it is to have it like pulling from immutable. Like that seems like more programming work than I fucking know how to do. So that seems like something that like Jaspaz or Mike from WaxDAO might be able to help you with.
Yeah.
I feel like Jaspaz is pretty good for that stuff. He's the creator of Chain Champs.
Yeah, exactly. The Chain Champs.
I'm in pretty good with the Rivals dude. I could probably, like, I'm sure we could, if I talk to him, we could do an official collaboration.
That'd be cool as hell.
We are in the middle of trying to do a profile picture project right out of this. I don't want to take away call time from that.
Yeah, I brought the drawing tablet to like do a couple things while I was out. I had like 2 days that I was actually able to work on something.
I have like
You know.
30 traits done for the music. I got some good work done while you guys were gone. Also post, or I'll show in the Rivals official Discord here, in the announcement channel, they announced that I made my free-to-play guide, so that was an official shout-out
Nice.
from he's like, Jonathan's like the commissioner, or I guess he's like the head mod, whatever you want to call it, community manager, but so I'm in the good graces of him. He's willing to post my stuff. I thought he was just going to post it in the general channel, but he posted it as like an announcement, which means it doesn't get buried by all the shit people are posting in general. So
yeah, I watched that video. It's pretty solid. Like I haven't seen people do that type of a like guide for Rivals, so it's pretty cool to like see the like in-depth work you put into it.
I think I did better too than the first one. The first one was too lengthy. I made the issue of trying to play while narrating, so there's just too much shit that I was saying, like because I was paying attention to the game while also trying to explain stuff. This one I just like recorded everything and then I edited down, okay, this is what I want to show people, and then I talked about what I wanted to show people, so it's about half the length. But here, I'll post that here in case anybody hasn't seen it. There's KG. Here's our week 2. AKA PolishDoc90 from Neon Space. I'm here today for week 2 of the free-to-play NFL Rivals Bootcamp. If you missed week 1, the too long didn't watch is basically just grind out the campaign, try to get as many coins and diamonds as you can, and use those 13 minutes. Play the second highest tier for 1 pack. And it takes a little bit of work to learn how to run the 2-point conversions, but that's just a demo. I don't know. We're not going to watch the full video on stream. If you want to watch it, please watch it in your free time. Add that to save for later on your YouTube. We'd appreciate it. Also, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube, we would appreciate it. I'm going to try to do more of these like offline videos so we actually can get some traction on YouTube. We put like all of our effort into Twitch, so we don't really have much of a following on YouTube. But
yeah, I recorded a video about like the new liquidity pools on Alcor. Just haven't edited it. I'll have to do that. Should we start doing tech stuff, or should we do? I don't know how long we've probably been going for. Yeah, we've been going for 30 minutes. Are you ready to do tech stuff? Yeah, we can do that. I feel like
I know some people were like freaking out because wax went down below 5 cents, I think, or 4 cents. I don't know. I don't really even pay attention to the price anymore.
Yeah.
Do you want to share your screen?
It did take a little dive. Yeah, let me share my screen here. Oh wait, I gotta go through my Streamlabs.
We will do some off the rails later. We have some off the rails content. So if you're not as interested in the technical analysis stuff, we will be doing some other stuff later. But we're supposed to do this on Tuesday, but Max was traveling, so we're gonna do it now.
Traveling right at the time we got a nice little sell-off here, and look at this. Actually, pulling a little bit below the last time we hit the floor here at 4 point whatever. So we made it to under 4 cents for a hot minute. But very strong support down here, just like we're expecting. Like if we do fall to here, I expect a bounce or at least a pause here before we move all the way down lower. But yeah, let's take a look. Let's start here. Like we could take a look first at the crypto market. I'm gonna turn off some of my lines. I'm looking first at Ethereum, and I'm going to go into the weekly chart and take a look. And we have gotten pretty much what I was expecting, a pullback here, retesting our kind of like strength band. Still on the bull print on the weekly, starting to oversold here, but it is still looking pretty bearish. Like this weekly close, very bearish. Current week shaping up kind of bearish as well. And then let's take a look at something else that I haven't looked at in a hot minute, but I'm pretty sure I have it saved here. Maybe not. The DXY. The DXY is the United States dollar. So if we go to all, US dollar currency index is called the DXY. And you can see we were kind of like in this trend kind of channel here. And we are actually right at the top of that right now. looking to potentially break and flip bullish again. The importance of tracking the DXY is as the dollar gets strength, crypto and equities like stocks tend to move in the opposite direction. So if we do flip and start seeing a breakout where the dollar gets more and more stronger here basically over time, then I would expect that to help push us down further in crypto prices. And so I think this is kind of an interesting, like we're reaching kind of the previous resistance here. You see last time we pushed up, this is where we found that resistance and we're rejected and pushed down. Now we're pushed up, we're at that same level again. It also coincides perfectly with the strength band here. We're still on a bear print. We're still kind of moving down. We're looking at the weekly chart right now. So each one of these candles is a full week. This is quite a long trajectory that we're looking at. And you can see the dollar had been, running up pretty aggressively, and then had finally started selling off a little more recently. And this is relatively in line with like the bear market. I'd say like a bear market in crypto would be this whole run up as well. And then recently when it's like coming off, we could probably see if we switch back over. Yeah, you can see the run up happening and then now kind of flattening out. It's a lot easier to see actually with the stock market. There, this is much more correlated. So you can see the sell-off happening here at the same time as the DXY would be pumping. So if we go DXY again, DXY, during the same time we're running up as the stock market runs down, and then as the DXY has been selling off, the stock market actually did a nice retest. So now that we are, we've basically pulled up to that top. If we're going to get rejected here with the DXY and the dollar continues to push down, then equities and stocks and cryptos are going to continue to have that like wind to kind of push higher and continue into a bull trend. But if the DXY does break out now, let's DXY. I should just save this one. But if it does break out here and push above and start, closing weeks above our strength band and flipping back to bull, then it would be an indication that we're going to probably see stocks and cryptos sell off. And we have seen, especially in this is the QQQ. This represents the NASDAQ index. So this is basically the tech sector of the stock market. We can also look at the SPY. It's going to look very similar. The SPY is like the boomer sector, like the yeah, you can see it's very similar. But you had like a run up and then recently a big kind of pullback. A lot of people are very bullish, especially in the tech sector. We had a big bump from the AI kind of like craze. Shares like Nvidia, stuff like Apple, Amazon, Microsoft all make up this index. And so when those shares all kind of have been flying, the index has been flying as well. And it has been kind of like selling off the last few weeks here, but you can see still clearly. Oh, go on.
AMG had a question. He said, Max, what about stock market in medium term? Michael Burry has shorted it recently. I don't know who Michael Burry is. Maybe he's an important financial person.
So Michael Burry is, if you've seen the movie The Big Short, he's the person who shorted the housing market for a $6 billion profit.
Did he end up in prison?
No, he very legitimate. He runs a hedge fund, and he did some things that some of his investors were upset about during the short sell he was maintaining. So he had short sold the housing market almost a year before it actually collapsed. And in that year leading up to the actual collapse, he actually halted some withdrawal activity for people who were invested in the hedge fund. And so quite a few people were a little bit upset with him. But
I was thinking Wolf of Wall Street. I was thinking the wrong movie. That guy ended up in prison.
Yeah, that guy did go to prison, but like white collar prison, and he's out and he's promoting bullshit again. That is, oh man, what's his name? Yeah, I forget his name, but yeah.
But the overall question was medium term stock.
Medium term stock absolutely does look like we have pulled aggressively up, so it looks like almost. We didn't make a new higher high on the QQQ especially. And I know he opened QQQ and SPY shorts. it's kind of a bold move to honestly to announce that you're short sold these assets, because it gives people incentive to kind of like squeeze you out. But yeah, I think medium term, absolutely, especially keeping your eye on the DXY is going to be a kind of our indication of if the DXY continues to push higher, like basically if the dollar gets stronger relative to equity assets. So if the dollar starts to close, a week or so above 105 or something, right now we're at 104, so close already. But you can see here this is the what we're calling this, the RSI, the SRSI. But the relative strength index is kind of topping out generally in these trends. You can see when we reach up to this above the blue here, that is kind of where we find resistance and try to cool off. Generally speaking, you can see, this was topped out here, and the cool off was barely anything, as we continue to push up. So, don't trade exclusively the RSI, but the RSI is definitely a good thing to keep an eye on when you are scalping and trading medium or short term. So what I like to do is, I'll take positions when we are if I wanted to go short on something, or if I want to go long on assets, I would want to take a position when the RSI is very overbought. So on the top side of this, if I want to go long, or I guess that would be short on equity, because as this rises, equities fall, then I would want to be looking for this. So like down here where we're flatlining, and again, notice that even when we are all the way on the bottom here, which happened right here, you can stay all the way on the bottom and push much lower. So just because we're at the bottom doesn't mean we're going to bounce now. This one pushed down quite aggressively after that. But yeah, medium term, if you are looking at SPY, QQQ and stuff, we are, this is the weekly chart, but if we go to like the daily charts, daily close starting to look much more clearly bearish. You can see we've actually flipped the trend on the daily here. We did kind of sell off aggressively, and we were a little bit oversold. So we got a bit of a retest in the early half of this week, and then today, pretty much midday or so, I'd say like around not even midday, like around like 10 or 9 o'clock, it started to like drop off again to continue kind of the trend that we're in now on the daily. So in the daily, so medium term, I am expecting this to continue to move down. The daily close today, very bearish. Like this giant red candle is not a bullish indication. Same with, we're back kind of like in the normal range here. And then here's the other important part. I always like to keep an eye on the on balance volume. I'll make this a little bit bigger. And so here you can actually see the on balance volume is, without getting like technically into the actual equation that makes up what this chart is plotting, it's effectively showing us money moving either into or out of an asset. And so when when we did hit this low price, in the relative short term, which this is like 4 or 5 days ago or whatever, the unbalanced volume was showing we were seeing money leave the market. We're starting to make lower lows. So you can see a little bit further out here, like for example, when we hit these prices, that's kind of like similar to where this price is. And so, we're getting kind of the same on balance volume here, but then we go a little further back here, similar still. So it's not necessarily crazy lower, but it's absolutely not making a higher high or a higher low yet. It's at least doing the same. And then I think the QQQ is a little clearer on the on balance volume, showing us money leaving the market here. So you can actually see, this is the current spot price is about the same as here. And you can see how much more money there was in this market back then. So this is on the right side. This is in billions. So, last time we saw this price action, and again, this is days now. So this isn't that long ago. This is the 27th of June. So like about 2 months ago, you can see RSI, or the unbalanced volume, hovering around 6.4 billion. Today, we're at the same spot price, but our on-balance volume is almost $400 million lower. So indicating money leaving the market. And when we see, especially when we see a retest, like an upward action, which is coupled with a downward movement on the on-balance volume, that's a very bearish indication. So short term, this is still looking very bearish. I opened a few shorts today on QQQ and SPY, and I'm looking also to short sell crypto, but I'm waiting now for that DXY. If the DXY starts to push further and kind of break out of that, I guess without just like hand gesturing, let me actually pull it up again. DXY. If the DXY does start to break out of the, let's go back to the weekly. It's a little easier to see here. If we do break out of this kind of like, you know, here, if I turn on some lines, had drawn out our support line, which is funny to see because we're actually really quickly approaching that support line. But here's kind of what I wanted to look at. If we take kind of like the top of these hills, basically, you know, the top of these peaks, and move it like this, and then grab a second line that touches it along the bottoms of these, you can see, you know, this kind of is the trend, like the channel we've been bouncing in for months. You know, this is all the way back to like January 23rd. So this is, you know, almost the start of the year. This is quite a long time ago. But you can see we've actually had kind of this this channel that we've been pretty much sticking in, this like sinking channel. And you can see actually this current week, so the week candle isn't closed yet. It is actually, here you can see it's going to close on Sunday. But if we're closing a week above this and are breaking out of that channel, you know, our resistance is still a little bit above that, but that is a bullish indication for the DXY. And like I said, the DXY tends to trade in inverse with the equity markets. So if the dollar starts gaining strength and actually stays above this kind of channel that we've been kind of in for a while now, then absolutely short term, we're looking to see stocks and crypto prices continue to get pushed down as people move their money out of those assets and into cash. Cash is still kind of king, honestly. I mean, you see the interest rates are climbing still. The Federal Reserve is still signaling that there may be more federal interest rate hikes coming on the horizon. And the housing mortgage rates are insanely high now, which is kind of a mixed thing, because like, yeah, the mortgage rates currently are really high, but of homeowners, like 90% of people are locked into, like, at least in the United States, are locked into, you know, fixed mortgage terms that are much lower than the current interests. So it's kind of hard to get a metric. It's like, yeah, the current housing market rates are trash, which means people probably aren't going to be buying, or well, people might be buying, but not poor people. So what I want to say in the short version of that whole housing market rant there is interest rates on housing market stuff only affect people who can't afford to buy a house outright. Like if you need to take a mortgage, which is, you know, normal people like us, if I was going to buy a house, I don't have $1 million in cash to put down on a house to then own the house. I would have to, you know, put down, let's say like $200,000 or something, like 20% on the $1 million. And then the other $800,000 I would take as a 30-year mortgage. The interest on that $800,000 that I'm paying right now is like 4.65% at this point. During COVID, it was like nothing. So the people who did those things and bought those houses back, you know, pandemic era and pre all these interest rate hikes, they still own those mortgages. They still live in that house. The house might be going up in value or even stay flat, but their interest or what they're paying in interest on that mortgage isn't changing with the changing rates. Because in the United States, when you buy a mortgage, you don't, like, you lock in that rate. And the nice thing about being on the buying side of a mortgage in the United States, again, because other countries have a different rules for these, but the nice thing about that is you lock in the lower rate, and when the rate goes up, that risk of the rate increasing is offloaded onto the bank. Whereas if the rate drops, you, as the owner of a mortgage with a higher rate, you can just go to another bank or to the same bank and refinance your mortgage, lock yourself into a lower rate, and offload that risk again. So mortgages are actually relatively great to buy during the pandemic. And for that reason, I would say most people who bought their houses with these absurdly cheap mortgage rates aren't going to sell them, because any new house they buy would be bought and financed, unless they're buying it again outright, would be bought and financed at this higher interest rate. So the housing market is having a bit of a Yeah, like it's not looking amazing. And then of course other countries that don't let you fix your mortgage for 30 years, like for example in Canada, I believe you have to choose a fixed lock term between 3, 4, or 5 years, and then you have to renegotiate. So the people in Canada who bought houses during the pandemic when the rates were super low, they might be starting to sweat because in the next year or two at most, they're going to have to renegotiate their mortgage terms, and they might have to pay way more in interest because the interest rates aren't going to be the same as they used to be. In the United States, if you're locked in, you're locked in. So all of that stuff is to say, yeah, short term, there's a little bit of a good reason to be kind of weary about equities and a good reason to be into cash. And as cash gets more and more popular because interest rates are high, and when interest rates are high, what that means is the lender, so the bank who's lending out, mortgages and doing all their like financing and all these different things that the bank does, they borrow their money, generally from the Federal Reserve, but the Federal Reserve is now charging a federal interest rate that's much higher than it used to be. So instead of borrowing from the Federal Reserve, they could borrow from people like me and you, and sell us bonds or sell us money market accounts that pay higher interest. And that's why right now you can go find a money market that will pay you like 4 or 5% interest, like APY on your cash, or like a CD, which is a certificate of deposit. There's like CDs that will vest in maybe like 13 to 14 months that are paying close to 6% on cash, like in cash on cash. And this is FDIC insured. So like basically it's a guaranteed 5-6% return on your cash in a market that's where the conditions aren't necessarily so clear that you can outperform that by buying, stocks, crypto, or houses or anything like that. And again, with the houses specifically, it really only affects people who aren't the super rich. Like the super rich actually benefit from this because they can buy a house, like $1 million house, in cash, and they don't care what the mortgage or the interest rates are because they don't fucking pay interest because they're not borrowing any money. So it makes the housing market really like a strange market to track because it's not like an equal playing field because not everyone is taking mortgages. And it's the mortgages that are getting slammed, not like the housing prices aren't going to change a whole lot. Like it's more expensive to buy a house, but because the interest is higher, not because the house like sticker price is going up aggressively. Although the house sticker price is going up, and the reason it goes up is because no one's fucking selling their house, because all the people who own those houses, like literally everybody who was paying attention, not just people who bought houses during the pandemic, but everybody who owned a house and a mortgage could have gone to the bank and refinanced those mortgages during the pandemic. And basically everybody who owns a mortgage for the last like 4 years or so is basically paying like 2% or less interest on that. And right now the federal interest rate is almost double that. So a little over double that. So selling a house that you don't own outright where you're paying a mortgage is like a bad investment, basically. Like you're trading off something with a guaranteed 2% for something with a higher interest. So that is going to keep people from selling their houses, which is going to keep people from putting new houses on the market, which is going to raise the sticker price of existing real estate, which can't be bought by people who don't have the money outright because the borrowing fees are so high. It's a really intricate kind of like web of nonsense. But yeah, all of that to go back to say, yeah, the markets are starting to look like topped, and the trend seems to be kind of like reversing. So here's the SPY. And in the short term, for sure, we are seeing, we've flipped. This is the indicator that Sid and I built here. So we got a bear print on this like all the way mid-August here, August 23rd or so, 24th. And since then, we are absolutely falling. And even with this recent kind of like retest, kind of re-push up, not even getting close to that. But still, in the short term, I would expect volatility as is always the case on the way down. So when prices are falling, you're going to see, big jumps to kind of retest, and it's generally a bull trap where you get you start, the price moves up, people are like, okay, cool, it's a good time to buy because everything got cheaper recently, and then boom, you get these big drops again. So we definitely
MJ
have
has another question. He says, in dollar index chart RSI going above 70, do you think breakout will happen this time, Max?
Yeah, so that's the thing, is like the RSI is approaching. Here, let's go back to the DXY. DXY, here we are on the dollar, and here actually you can see today quite a big jump, and this is that line I was drawing on the weekly channel. You can see we had actually been sticking to that until we just broke out of this today, and this is very in line. Look at this big old green line today. Very much we're going to expect a big old red line on like the stock market, and there it is. So but yeah, let's go back to the DXY. You can see on the daily the DXY RSI is quite overbought, but on the weekly there's definitely room still. And like I was saying before, we can flatline or stick, like, look, for example, here, look at how overbought, we are on the RSI metric. And then since this overbought metric down here, this is back in August 2021, look at how much aggressively higher we moved. So, even this like big, massive overbought signal, it was cooled all the way off by a very slight pullback, not even like touching that strength band at all. Like we've been kind of above that this whole time, and now we've been basically below that since. And this is getting very interesting because here we are testing it now, breaking out of the channel. It looks bearish. Generally, I would say, yeah, short term, I'm expecting the markets to fall. Personally, I've taken short positions on these indexes. I've taken short positions in crypto. Or not quite yet, actually. I have a few like short positions on ETH right now, but I'm waiting to like add to those. Basically waiting to see here. We have basically the week here not closed yet, but if our week closes below this band, this is what I'm always looking at basically to get confirmation. If we're going to close a full week below here, that's very, very bearish. And so what I would do then is I'd be waiting for the SRSI, for the strength index relative strength index to then kind of cool off, because obviously that sell-off is pushing us into oversold territory. So then I'd expect a little bit of a retest, a little bit of a bounce, and once we kind of get back up a little bit, I would start opening some short positions on Ethereum. And on Bitcoin, we're going to see a very similar thing, although we haven't actually closed the week below yet. I'd say ETH kind of moves like a bit of a delta of Bitcoin. It's a little bit more like the swings are very similar, but slightly more aggressive. So it's like if you wanted to invest into crypto, buying Bitcoin and holding it is always a good move, but buying Ethereum and holding it should generally return slightly higher, and higher gains and higher losses, because it'll move more aggressively percentage wise. But yeah, so we are watching that, and then let's see how that affects Wax. And you see Wax, we're still in the bear trend. It's all red since forever here on the weekly, basically since the information is there. And let's look at on the daily chart. The daily chart has also, we got our bear flip. Since that flip, pushed down basically to our previous lows here. We're at 4 cents flat almost. Which was pretty much where we found support last time, and we bounced here last time. You can see we have a different story with the on-bounce volume. You do see a little bit of a rising on-bounce volume. So even though we're at the same 4 cent mark as we were here when we were at 4 cents, significantly lower. So this is showing money kind of flowing into Wax. But again, Wax is a very, very small, a very immature market compared to like the QQQ, the SPY, or even compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum. And so this is a lot less of an indication that, we're going to see massive breakout or that this is actually bullish. Whereas on Ethereum and Bitcoin, I would put more weight onto a divergence. Like if we're seeing a sell-off with a climbing on balance volume on Ethereum, that is a great indication that, okay, it's not a bad time to be loading up. But what we are seeing is a sell-off with a falling on balance volume. So it's more an indication of we're looking to continue the downtrend here, and maybe if you do venture into that stuff, profit on the way down by taking positions short. Of course, you can also just sell a position and buy it back lower if you're not comfortable maintaining a margin, or trying to leverage trade, because when you do short sell, what you're doing is you're borrowing an asset, selling it today, and promising to pay it back in the future. And you're hoping that when it's time to pay it back, you can buy it back for cheaper. So you've already sold it, but you can sell things that you don't own, is kind of the idea of short selling. Generally you have to cover all that, that debt you have to cover with cash or with some other asset. And if you can't manage that well, it's possible that, if you're short this market and then we get tomorrow a big pump back up to, just even if it's below the strength band, but still, if we get a big pump and you have a leverage that's not maintained well, that could be enough to liquidate your position, meaning that your collateral that you're using to put up against the borrowed asset no longer is enough to cover that borrowed asset as the borrowed asset's price increases, and therefore your collateral will be, seized, and then you're left with nothing. So short trading like that is pretty difficult. There is ETFs you can trade, which are exchange traded funds. So if you just use like Robinhood, like a brokerage app, and you wanted to say take a position short on the QQQ, which is the NASDAQ, like we're seeing here, it's like, okay, I feel like it's going to move down. You could trade, let's see, SQQQ. This is a ProShares Ultra Pro short QQQ. This one is 3 times short exposure. And you can see as we got a big red candle on the SPY today, on the QQQ today, the SQQQ is getting a big green candle. So this SQQQ is an ETF that will generally move in inverse of the QQQ, and not 1-to-1, but rather 3-to-1, meaning that if the QQQ loses 1%, the SQQQ gains 3%. And this is a lot easier to trade than, say, managing your own short sell position, but there's also a rebalance that happens to maintain these prices, and sometimes the delta is off. Using the Greeks is also the delta is basically the way that this asset moves compared to the QQQ can sometimes not be what you expect, because there is funding fees and there is a maintaining of the margin that represents the short position that isn't super transparent and super easy to understand. And so sometimes when the QQQ has a big red day, you'd be expecting a big green day in the SQQQ, and you don't necessarily get that, and it can be very confusing. And that is the delta, and that is what happens sometimes with these leveraged ETFs. So be aware that those do exist, and you can trade with them by simply buying shares of SQQQ, or if you think the market's going up and you don't just want to buy shares of QQQ, which is the index, you can do the ProShares thing and do TQQQ, which is 3 times the normal exposure to the QQQ. So this is
I'm a nerd, because QQ to me is how you make fun of noobs, because QQ looks like eyes crying. So when you're trolling people in World of Warcraft in 2009, that's how I know QQ.
That's awesome. I didn't know that, but I'm gonna have to use that in some trading chats now. It's like, oh, QQ on your QQQ puts, or on your QQQ calls. Like, yeah, that's fun. Yeah, but yeah, so these ETFs do exist. Also, if you're not that hot on like Bitcoin on chain, like I do a lot of my short selling directly on the blockchain. Like I'll use like GMX or something. Let me just pull that up really quick. GMX. So I'll use stuff like this to do a short position on Ethereum. Yes, it's telling me that it's a decentralized protocol that's run on like IPFS servers. So it's not, it's like, hey, we don't host the site. It's hosted on like interplanetary file systems. But I just connect my wallet here. You can use, Coinbase or MetaMask wallet or whatever. And then I'll be like, okay, I want to take a Bitcoin position short. I'll have my balance of, I can use USDC, USDT, DAI, FARX, any of these stable coins. So I'll have like a USDCE, for example. This is on Arbitrum. You can also do this on Avalanche if you prefer. These are both layer 2s for Ethereum mainnet, so they're much cheaper to use. Like a transaction here is going to cost you between like 10 and 30 cents at most, whereas that same transaction on Ethereum is going to be maybe like $16 to $20. So you can then go like, okay, I'm going to take 100 of my US dollar coins, and I'm going to use, I wouldn't use 50x leverage. This is nuts. But you could be like, I'm going to use, like 2x. And then you can take a position that's worth basically $200. So it's not exactly going to $200 because you are paying a fee to open it. And then you should also be aware that obviously if you're using leverage, you're borrowing that $100, and then here you'll see you'll be paying to borrow it. This is how much it costs to borrow per day. And of course, on this protocol, you can actually put the collateral into any asset. So if you use Forex, for example, I'm still supplying USDC from my wallet, but I'm now borrowing Forex as the collateral asset. And because this marketplace is collateralized by all of these assets, you can see here Forex is only utilized at 1%. This is going to be way cheaper to borrow. This is like a whole different topic, but you can do all this from your wallet without a broker. It's not super difficult. It's actually kind of not, it's kind of straightforward. But yeah, I like to do this. So I'll be like, okay, I'll open this position. I'll take $100 USDC. I'll sell $200 worth of Bitcoin, and then I can just close the position later. So if Bitcoin falls, it'll be in profit. I can close the position and take possession of the collateral, which in this case is a dollar coin. So if I'm using Forex, it's still Forex dollar coins. I could just collateralize it in my actual USDC. And then I'm, basically I'll close the position and I'll have the dollars plus the profit I made. Or if I close at a loss, I'll have the remaining dollars back in my wallet. The only thing that's exposed to a position like this to loss is the money I'm putting up. So my $100 is potentially going to suffer a total loss if I get liquidated. But you can see here, liquidation price. If I am short selling Bitcoin right now, I won't be liquidated until Bitcoin pumps all the way to 38,000. We're at 26 right now. So I'll have plenty of time to close my position before that. It's not that crazy. Of course, as I use more leverage, you can see my liquidation price goes aggressively lower. So when you go all the way up to 50x, 26,348, we're at 26,000 flat. So if it pumps up like $300, you're gone. All your money's gone. But again, even though the position would be worth $4,000, I can only lose my $100. So this is relatively easy way to kind of like manage a risk and take potentially aggressive positions, short or even long. You can obviously trade long as well. So that's like an on-chain option. And then there's also off-chain options. There's ETFs you could buy directly from your brokerage account, even using your IRA to leverage long or short into Bitcoin as well. So there's going to be a few more being approved probably relatively soon by the SEC. But there is already a few of them. You could do some Googling to see like what the best ETFs are, read about how they're backed, and then choose one that fits your risk profile. Because obviously I can't tell you which one's the best for you, because I don't know your finances. That's everyone makes those decisions themselves. But yeah, so kind of looking at all this, it does look bearish. We're looking like we're going to continue to sell off, very likely going to continue to push down. And if we do push down, we could see a retest of the previous market lows. I don't think this is going to be a big, like, giant red candle all the way down, that unless there's some type of like external news, like the SEC declares that Bitcoin is, no longer allowed to be traded by retail investors in the US, that could send us like flying down. But without any like crazy news or developments in the finance world, I expect this market to continue to kind of push down and grind down from now probably till the end of the year. I would say it's unlikely that we, like, especially if this week starts to close here, like these last few weeks have all closed pretty bearish. And so if we do continue that trend, I don't see a reason why we shouldn't continue to sell off. It is very in line with the overall market sentiment or the overall market trends that we see. So even last time we did get a similar, so this will look very familiar almost, where we got, on the weekly, we did break out above, we're pushing down, we got a little bit of a sell. And then once we did push below that band, so this is almost like where we are now, it'd be like here-ish. Once we did push below it, it continued to grind down. We got a bear trap here. So this is like, a bull trap. It started pumping up. More and more people bought. Lots of on-balance volume actually flowing back into the market. And then, boom, dumped it all the way back down to the previous low. Like all the way back to this low price here, you can see. And that was then the bottom. And from here, you can actually start to see that on-balance volume kind of climbing much more aggressively. So even though the price didn't jump that much, or here where it's relatively flat, like our on-balance volume is making new highs already. And then, from there on, it was bull market season again. And even here, where we got a big red sell-off, like look at the on-bounce volume, like no money's leaving the market. This isn't the end. Still, we're climbing. Here, we're getting like not as much of a sell-off, but oh wow, we're starting to make lower highs and lower lows here. Like look, so this is a much cleaner indication that this was the top. And from there, it turned out to be the top. And we did kind of pull back. We also talked about this way back when we were streaming back in like 2022. We were like, this is the top. Like we're selling. And so, it still hasn't kind of reversed that, especially if we're looking at the on balance volume here. So if I frame us kind of like this, I can zoom in a little bit and frame us kind of like this. This is like the full extent of the bear market. And you can see, we're making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. And then even here, I'm not seeing a higher high yet. Like you see these kind of like peaks. These are all kind of like lower highs, lower highs. This, I guess here you can start to say we are higher than this peak, but we're definitely not higher than this peak. And let's take a look at the actual price at this peak that we're definitely not higher. Look at this. Our price was higher than that, but the on-balance volume wasn't. So this is actually almost like a lower high, like very clearly a lower high, because like the price is making a higher high. So this is kind of like where people are like, oh, the market's turning bull again, we're about to run. But if you keep your eye also on the on-balance volume, you can actually get a good sense of like, this is more or less a bull trap, because we're not actually seeing money flowing back into the asset yet. And so that's kind of still where we are now. This is starting to push down. It looks like pretty big wicks here. And like I said, I would expect to see this kind of retest and push up. We're not really getting a huge sell-off on the on-balance volume just yet. And I think personally, I'm looking for these prices to keep falling, and I think we'll get better entries into the crypto markets as the year goes on. Generally speaking, the Bitcoin halving event is the catalyst to the the bull cycles. When the market starts to run again, that usually happens right after the block reward is halved. And that halving event is April or May of next year, so of 2024. So that's very in line with what we're kind of seeing here in the chart. If we continue to kind of grind down here into like, here would be kind of like March and April. So we'd be pushing down till around here, likely retesting these lower levels, possibly like making a higher low, not necessarily like retesting the exact lows. Maybe we'd push down to like, was that 13 or 1400 for Ethereum, and then probably, flatlining a bit. And during this flatlining area, we should then start to see on balance volume climbing while the price still hasn't broken out. And that will be a great indication that it's almost bull season again. And that will be the moment to start loading up and filling your like bags and doing like the whole, YOLO all in kind of stuff. Right now, it's absolutely not showing. It's not giving me that impression. And obviously I still hold these assets, but I hold them with a pretty strong hedge, expecting the price to continue to fall. And a big part of holding them is like I like to do delta neutral mining positions. Like I'll borrow the Ethereum that I'm supplying to a liquidity pool, and so I earn the liquidity pool yield, but I'm also not exposed to if the price falls or as the price falls. It's okay because that's borrowed Ethereum, meaning I can now buy it back cheaper and pay off the loan. And so there's lots of strategies that, make it worthwhile to still hold these assets, but they get pretty complicated on the way down. It's not as easy as buying and holding, or like buying the dip or hodl. But buy the dip had been back on the menu for quite a while. And I do think we're still like, you're not going to be too hurting in the longer run by buying dips continuing forward. But like, let's keep an eye on this weekly close. We want to see this market, especially the Bitcoin market's going to give us a nicer, like if we do see the Bitcoin market start closing, below what, like 25,000 or so, that's going to be a pretty strong indication that we might sell off further, maybe exit some of my positions, or, do however you want to play that. It's up to you, of course. But maybe look for a lower entry price, or maybe even just average down, buy some more when it falls later. Basically the idea is keep your capital, don't jump all in all at once. That's generally a good rule. But the markets do seem to be turning a bit south, and we have seen a really aggressive run up, especially in the stock market. And this is almost looking like it could like be a longer term like range double top here, where we kind of have retested but didn't quite make a new higher high, and then very much at the same time on balance volume is like abysmally lower than it used to be at these same rates. So we're getting a pretty decent similar high price here with a lot less money in these assets. And the reason for that is likely that people are more interested in holding cash, because cash, I can get a guaranteed 5 or 6% interest return on my cash. The cash is FDIC insured. I might have to deposit it for 13 months or something, or 6 months, like treasury notes. You can buy T notes. 6 months, they'll pay like 4.4% right now. That's really solid. You're keeping up with inflation at least. You're not going to, get a bad earnings call and dollars aren't going to suddenly just take a massive shit. So a lot of people are trading these assets. Like the majority of the trading that happens in the stock market, and I'd say in the crypto markets to a lesser extent, but definitely in the stock market, is hedge fund money. It's not retail money. It's not people like me and you who are trading these assets trying to like grow our portfolio. It's giant hedge funds like, BlackRock and like these huge institutions like Citadel and stuff that are basically, they're out there and their goal isn't necessarily to make 20-30% in a year. Their goal is to, truck along, keep up with inflation, and maintain the wealth that they already have. And a big strategy aspect of maintaining wealth is offloading risk when the risk is clearly being indicated, and especially when the offloading ramp for your risk is cash, and the cash is paying such a high yield. There's a little downside for selling stocks right now. You're selling them at almost the high price that they used to be before this whole like bear market cycle, and cash is paying you way more interest than it was over here. So lots of incentives to sell. Absolutely expecting a continued sell off here. And I think the big short guy is gonna probably make a decent profit with his short sells. He also announced that that he was short after he had opened the short. It's not like he's like, I'm going to go short and letting people front run him. So he's already probably sitting on a pretty fat bag of profits. And this is not that difficult to trade, I would say. Like you can see, we've peaked up, almost retesting the all-time high, and look at this on balance volume, very clearly not keeping pace with that same amount of money in the markets. So we should be easily expecting a pullback, and that is what we've seen in the last couple weeks, but it's absolutely not over just yet. So like I said, I'm still very much a bear on this kind of stuff in the medium term. In the long term, obviously stocks will go up and we will see new all-time highs eventually, but for now I am cautious and I am happy with my cash. Cash is doing pretty well. You can do quite a bit with cash at the moment. Even in the crypto space, like there's plenty of I guess I could pull up really quick one last thing here that I do. I was doing this one here recently. I still am in this one with a couple thousand bones. Does it need me to sign in? I guess I can just pull up it on my wallet here. But there is like cash pools that pay pretty high interest. So if I come, let's see, we want to be on Arbitrum. There it is. Farms. Didn't I just connect this? And then I got, let's see if I go staked only. Like this is a euro stablecoin and US dollar stablecoin paying 37% APR. And then what I've been doing, like you can see here, I've got, like this amount of these coins earned. What I've been doing is I'll claim these maybe like every 3 or 4 days or whatever makes sense, maybe every week. And then I come over here to the earn tab where they actually pay me for staking those. So here I have all of these tokens I earned just by supplying liquidity. I didn't buy any of this. And this is paying right now with my balance every day about $2.20 every day, split between US dollars, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. So it's like an average buying strategy that's kind of on autopilot, and it's funded by, liquidity that is, for the most part, like, I guess this is, these are riskier assets, like you have Forex and ETH, but this is like $900, where this is like 5,000. So for the majority, I'm keeping my money in cash, even if you see that. And this is just on one blockchain. There's obviously multiple blockchains, many different exchanges you can participate in strategies like this with. So, yeah, personally, not the worst idea, I think, to do a strategy that keeps your value exposed much more to dollars while still earning you pretty aggressive. Like 37% is pretty aggressive. I know, we're used to looking at stuff like on Taco Swap, where you can see like hundreds of percentages, which is, it's nice. It's definitely nice to earn like 70% on this, but man, this isn't cash. And as Wax has been falling, so has the value of my liquidity pool here. Whereas as Bitcoin and Ethereum fall, I'm not hurting so much here. Obviously, half of this pool is exposed to euros, and as the dollar gains strength, the euro loses strength. But it's a foreign exchange market, like a forex market. The amount of percentage shifts in those market is fractions of 1% in a matter of weeks. So it's very, very much more stable than anything in the crypto or even in the stock market sector. So that's kind of where I am with this. And looking at the chart, that's kind of what I'm seeing here too. Let's look one more time at the Wax chart. I'm going to go to the daily here. We did get a nice little retest of the previous low. So we did drop and then fall. Like once we lost kind of like the strength band here, it was very much acting as a pretty strong support for a while. So we did have a decent amount of support right here, which I wonder if that was, very close to where we were charting out our support. So it did hold for quite a while before it was lost. And once it was lost, just like we were kind of expecting, there's not a whole lot of room between supports here. In the same way that this happens on the way down, it happens on the way up too. So once this reverses, we'll probably see in a matter of days jumping back up to this route, and then, maybe flatlining here until we can push, and then we'll push all the way to the next one. And that's generally how these markets will move. You see like a big drop, big jump. And it's because between here and here, there's not a whole lot of resistance or support or liquidity. So it's like not a whole lot of money was used to dump the price that aggressively. And because it wasn't that much money, it didn't take that much money to pump it back up, which is also how you see these giant like wicks, like those days where we get huge price actions. The reason that it looks like, oh shit, Wax just went up like 30%. It's like, well, yeah, but it's like let's keep an eye on the volume. Let's see, will this hold for a couple days? Like, because generally it doesn't. Like you can see all of these, it's all within the same trading day that we went from down here to up here and back down. And that happens because there's just not as much liquidity, not as much support or resistance available for these assets. And this is a much more immature market, so you're not going to see those similar types of massive wicks on something like Ethereum. You see, like most of these candles it's the body of the candle that is fat, not like huge wicks popping up everywhere. But with all that in mind, I think we can expect to see potentially Wax. So now Wax is actually kind of at its long-term kind of like support level here. It has not fallen below this point in a long time. So we're back down to here. Like this is 2021 and only very short-lived. So I would consider this quite a strong support here. So we'll likely see this hold at least for a few weeks. And if we see it fall, then it is more or less uncharted territory, and it becomes difficult to see how much space we have between where we'll find the next level of support. So interesting. The way to play this one is most likely to kind of like mitigate the risk here by putting some of our Wax into like a stable coin, and then having that stable coin buy back the Wax, between our 4 cents right now And maybe even like if we zoom in closely here, take a look at this wick that pulled us all the way down to like 3.5 cents or something like that. I would say we could look at trying to trade, this bottom half here. So maybe even though selling wax here isn't the best time, because obviously this is the more or less all-time low that we've observed in the last few years, it doesn't mean we can't go lower. Although, again, on balance volume climbing, there is interest. There's money flowing into the asset. It's also still positive on balance volume, which is a decent sign. And we obviously, as people who use wax, we have a little bit more insight. We can see, the activity on wax. Is it real? Is it not real? Is all this stuff fugazi, or is it like legitimate, like demand? And in wax, I feel like there is quite a bit of, real users, real project owners, and real like people who need that wax. But the other side of that equation is we need to understand how the block producers are paid. They're paid in wax relative to a dollar price. So now that the wax is so low, those block producers are going to actually be paid more wax each month or each payment cycle. And that more wax, if they're going to be continuing to sell the same amount of dollar value in wax, they're now going to be selling more wax as well, potentially putting more sell pressure onto the network. And as they're getting more wax, the inflation rate of wax increases. So, obviously that model works in the opposite direction on the way up. As the price climbs, the wax inflation decreases. The block producers are making less wax worth the same amount of dollars, but it is worth knowing that, so that, with this low price, it may actually be in the interest of basically block producers, and therefore big whales, like big holders of wax. It might be in their best interest to maintain a floor price of wax around here so that they can accumulate, ass loads of wax for their regular operations, and then eventually stop selling that wax, hold on to it, and let the price run up while they have, after they have filled their bags with, block rewards, or not even block rewards, but BP incentives from the blockchain. So it's a little difficult to say what's going to happen next, but we did make a lower low here. So we did push below our previous low with this wick. Obviously, the body of the candle is almost in line with the previous body. So it's basically, I would say we pretty much hit the same resistance as we have before, and that resistance is still holding. But again, it doesn't mean it'll hold forever. We could see this push lower. We could also see it push higher, as obviously, big whales and block producers are being paid a lot of wax. They could hold on to that wax, let the price accumulate up, and then, make a killing dumping it at a higher price, having been paid it at, an equivalent of 4 cents per unit, letting it run up to 6 cents and then dropping it there. Is going to be a massive, massive win. That's like a 50% profit for them. So
you want to do wax DeFi then?
So yeah, let's jump into wax DeFi from here. I'm going to, first things first, 2 weeks and a day ago or so, last time we did our position here with our wallet on Alcor, we had put in some wax into the wax TLM pool, and we set our range below what the current spot price was, expecting, TLM to kind of pull back and hopefully fill our position. So in the last 2 weeks, that did not happen. And you can see we didn't earn any fees, and we still have 100% of the wax that we put into this. So just like I was saying, there really isn't, as far as our objective with this is to earn more wax. There wasn't really a downside because we didn't lose any wax on a position like this, but we also made nothing. And this is a decent chunk of the wax in our wallet to just be sitting idle for that amount of time when the goal is to farm the yield. So we should revisit this and reconsider it. So I'll start with that. I'm going to remove this because we're still 4% below. Even if I wanted to keep this exact same position going, I would remove it and then reopen it closer to the current spot price. So first thing I'm going to do is remove the liquidity from the TLM wax pool, where we have just been sitting outside of the range for the last 2 weeks. And then, like I was saying, I am uncertain about what wax might do next. And so I might actually buy some USDC or USDT, like a stable coin, probably USDT. If I go to analytics up here, I can take a look at what the most active pools are. So if we look at pools by volume, and then we can see the volume here, top pools, I believe, here we go. This volume, almost $2,000 today, which seems to be a pretty average since we're about $10,000 on the week. That's close to 1,900 a day times 7. And then you can see also the month. So this seems like we're having average volume pretty high here, even though we see a couple other pools that have much higher volume, like for example, this Martia token. Marta token? Marta?
I think it's the
You
million
see
on
this has a
Mars.
higher.
No, what's the other Mars game? Colonize Mars. I think that's what that's from.
Colonize Mars. Yeah. See, this token is having a lot of volume in the last 24 hours, and it's actually outpacing our USDT on the 7-day chart as well. But when we see it on the month, you can see that that's abnormal. Like you can see, this is. Oh, actually, no, that's not even that abnormal. So it seems like this token is quite liquid. We could go for a position in this one, but I still like TLM. Wax is much better established. Liquidity exists for TLM on decentralized markets that I can easily access, like Uniswap, like on Binance Smart Chain. I think through PancakeSwap you can trade TLM as well. So I'm less familiar with this one, but you can see here, you can see $2,000. It's earning pretty decent. This is by far the highest, the most liquid stable coin on Wax. And so what I'd like to do, we have, let's see, about 200 Wax in here. So what I'd like to do is take 50 of that Wax and sell it right now. So that's going to be a quarter of the Wax that I have for a liquidity farm position. So I'm going to sell a quarter of it. That's going to be 50. And that's going to get me $2.03 worth of USDT. And once it calculates my route for me here, you can see it's spinning $2.03 about. Yep. I'm going to swap that. And I'm going to use the rest of this Wax because, again, I do want, Wax as it pumps back up. I want to be, exposed to the upside. So I'm going to give it a pretty good range up, but I'm going to then also kind of limit our exposure on the way down. So here we go. We have done our trade. And now I'm going to go to the pool. And this one's still showing up. So I'm just going to hit refresh because I like to see this up to date. No pools. And I'm going to take this 200 Wax and I'm going to farm this pool. I'm using this. Yeah, I'm using this one. And then I want to put in all of my Wax and counterpart it with the $2 that I have in here. And the way I'm going to do that is I want the low price here to be what we were charting. So that was like 3.5. I'll give it a little bit of room down. Let's say 3.3. And then I still want the upside. And the upside on our Wax is still going to be probably this top range here where we were finding support. This is about, what is that? Like, hold on, I got to lean in so I can see. There's a little glare on my screen. This is about 6 cents. So let's change this to around 6 cents instead of 8. And now we have this range where we would be selling our Wax from the current price all the way to 48% over the current price. And we would be buying Wax back from the current price all the way down to 20%. And now, yoink. Now, if I put up all my liquidity here, I would see I need $3 of counterpart liquidity. And so if I increase this range, you can see that the amount I need is dropping. So I'd rather have the Wax, because again, my objective with this wallet is to earn more Wax. And so I'd rather hold on to Wax if it starts to pump and sell it at a higher price than I would, then I'd like to buy the Wax at a fixed, because basically the other way I could bring this down is if I brought this price up. So you can see, I mean, it'll change this one, but you can see here it's dropping that as well. But I would prefer doing it the other way around. So I'm going to do it this way. by just hitting plus a few times until I get to my $2 here that I want to get to. So it might actually be closer to 8 cents. Let's just put in 8 and see. And there you go, 2.1, almost there. Go a little bit above that. And we are at 2.28 is what I need. 2.028, I mean. There, 0.027. So my range is going to be between 3.3 cents and 8.25 cents for this liquidity. So I'm going to put this into the pool, and this way we'll be exposed to the volume that's happening through this pool, but we'll also, use some of the US dollar that we just bought at the current spot price to buy more wax if wax does fall all the way down to at least 3.3 cents. So at that point, let's kill this. At that point, we'll have basically spent all of our USDC to buy back into wax if it does fall further down. And so now we do have this position. It is in range, and let's see, it should calculate for us. We own, 0.07% of the pool now with this range. So we're actually going to be selling our wax into USDT between the current price and 100% above the current price, and we'll be buying wax back between the current price and 20% below the current price. Pretty wide range, but we are also doing this in terms of each week. So let's let that roll, and then let's see this total market. Let's see what we can expect here as far as yield. This is based off the past 24 hours performance and my range. And you can see that I have, what is that, $6, $7, $8.02. Let me pull up my calculator here and do a little bit of pocket napkin math. So if we have $8.02, 802, and we are making 0.004 cents a day. So that's 0.004 per day times 365 days in a year. We'd be making $1.46 per year on $8.02, which amounts to about 18%. 18% is not terrible. That's definitely outperforming just staking the wax, which is around 6% right now. So we're more than doubling, not quite tripling, the yield that we'd be expecting from staked wax. But we're also not like being crazy aggressive here with like hundreds of percentage of yield. And that kind of takes us to what we had done previously. We did put some liquidity into this B and wax pool. I think we had about 40 wax in this pool. So 20 wax on one side and then 20 wax of B token on the other side. And that token was paying almost a 900% yield. And you can see since then, it has aggressively sold off. So this was 20 wax. It's now 6. So that's definitely the risk with, high yield tokens we don't really know that well. We accepted that kind of risk to do something more risky here, and it didn't pay off this time. So if I look at the B token price, it's going to very likely be down like, let's see, in the last 2 weeks, probably like 60, 70% based on what we have left. So let's take a look. If we go B and wax, here's wax. If we go for a week, it's probably going to be, let's see, we're looking for like a 70% drop or something. And we want to see it in terms of wax. Yeah, 35% down in the last week. We were in it for about 2 weeks now. Yeah, pretty much. So we've been in it from around here-ish maybe. And so we've basically been supplying exit liquidity for people selling it. And those people are selling it because they're making 900% APR on their liquidity. It makes sense. We also have obviously earned our share of that liquidity. If I go to my meal tab and staked, I should see it's actually now only around 400% only. That's still astronomically high. And so we'll see we'll have earned rewards as well. So we've earned, looks like we've actually earned a little bit here, 20 of these tokens. So let's claim all these rewards first things first. And then the other position we had was 100 wax bilateral in the Wombat pool. I haven't actually done the math on that yet. Let's see how we've done on the Wombat pool. Wombat I really like. It's an easy one to farm, especially on the wax blockchain. That's an kind of an easy sell for me. But we had 100 wax in here. So, okay, yeah, very close still. This was 50, so it's now 49.3. We lost, was that 0.7, maybe even less, 0.65 wax bilaterally. So we've lost about 1 point, let's say 3. We've lost about 1.3 wax over the last 2 weeks, and then we've earned, let's see how much our wombat is worth. Wombat, if this is more than 1.3 wax, we're actually in the positive on this. So we've actually earned a little bit of wax on that. So we're actually doing not terribly on Wombat. Again, I still like Wombat. I'm going to stay the course in that pool. And so I'm going to swap this token. I don't know anything about this B token. I didn't do any research. I aped into it based on the high APR. If I had been able to do my tech talk on Tuesday last week, I would have seen it had dropped 30% already, and I would have cut. And unfortunately, I was out of town. I didn't factor that into like taking a much more risky position either. Which, in hindsight, if I'm going to be away from my ability to manage a position, I wouldn't do something so aggressive, because obviously what happens is what we saw happen. Let's see how much the yield we got in B token was worth. So if I tried to trade
That's
this
what
one,
MKY is asking. He said, did you claim your rewards as well?
yeah, I just claimed them. So I made 2 wax. Again, we had 40 wax before we started. We're at about 12, so 13, like 14 wax left after 40 wax in this pool. This is kind of a bust, total bust actually. And again, since we check usually every week, I would have pulled this way before we lost this amount. Generally, I would have pulled it on that first week when we dropped, more than 20%. As long as we're dropping at a rate where the yield is not keeping pace with us at least staying even, it's time to dump, basically. It's time to pull out. And that has been the case. But now I want to know, is it still dropping? And is it worth us like staying in here now or not? I don't know anything about that token's distribution model. So it's likely that it's probably just printing into infinity. Most of the tokens on Wax aren't really generated in a sound economic kind of structure. So it's probably just going to be continuing to drop. If I look at the last week worth of price movement, so 54% up in terms of B token, we're down 35% here and sinking. I would say this was not the best move. Shouldn't have kept it in here this long. We definitely miscalculated the ability to manage this position because of my traveling. And before that, we would have basically pulled this last Tuesday. So we would have pulled it here and missed out on this whole dump. And this dump doesn't seem to be slowing. We can use Wax on Edge to chart this with some indicators and get a little bit more of a sense here. So I'm going to go to Wax on Edge. I'm going to pull up the B and Wax token pair, and I'm going to use the chart that Wapaka has aggregated here to get a little bit better of a sense of that price. So we can see here, 4 hours, not a bad one to look at. We did get huge pump, huge dump. We want to see what the dump is looking like because we've been in this from about, let's say about here. So let's add a few indicators here and see what the market looks like, because we can add the same stuff we like to look at on the trading view here. So I'm going to do OBV first to see money moving in or out of this market. In would be like, okay, maybe we stick around. Out. Dropping, dropping, dropping. Not super great. So definitely pretty much what we expected is happening is people are more than likely claiming the rewards they're earning from yield farming and whatever other avenue exists to generate this token, and they're just selling it into Wax. That's what the unbalanced volume is showing us. Next, we can see the SRSI. So I just typed in SR. We can see the strength index. We're actually on the overbought side now, plenty of room down. So likely going to continue that sell-off on the 4-hour timeline. If we go to the daily chart's too young to have a reliable metric there. But the 4-hour chart clearly on the overbought side, not necessarily. So sinking on balance volume, overbought RSI, not wonderful, nothing we want to see. And then I also would like to see our Bollinger Bands. So let's take a look. Since I don't have my custom indicator on this, I can use the Bollinger Band. I'm going to hide these other two just to get a little bit bigger of a chart for this. The middle Bollinger Band line is like a smooth moving average. On a downtrend, generally it acts as a decent support. I'm sorry, on a downtrend, it would be the resistance. On an uptrend, it'll be the support, which we'll probably see here. Yeah, so above the line as we pull back, always above, above, above. Here we crossed and flipped it. So here would have been our indication the market trend is flipping. And then here you can see the retests are retesting to the middle line, and being rejected, rejected, rejected. Even here where it thins out, rejected, pushing down, and even these pushes up, very much rejected. One quick little push here, immediately pushed back, and we're still below it. This is all looking very bearish. I think we're going to cut our losses on this one and just cut the liquidity and put this is a loss for us. So this was a fail. So let's see how much wax we can walk away with. We had 40. I think we're going to end up with like 15 if we're lucky. So, eating kind of like a 60% loss on that one is also why we used wax that was profit earned wax. We thought, maybe we can try something more aggressive here since we now have a little bandwidth for that, because it's not just the wax we put in here, but like bonus, basically wax that we've earned over time. And then again, we weren't able to manage this position for how aggressive it was. It was a big time fail to walk away for 2 weeks. You should absolutely manage your positions when they are this aggressive. So I just pulled the liquidity and I'm gonna swap the B tokens back into wax, and let's see what we're left with here. So we have the 9 wax here. 9, it should have been like 12 something. I feel like, let me pull this up again. Let's see. Well, maybe not. Yeah, kind of a heavy hit here we're taking. And the B tokens from there, if we sell those, it's going to give us 7.8. Yeah, oof. Hard hit. So we're going to be looking at, I guess that is actually right, the 9. So we're looking at about 14, 13 or something that we're pulling out after having 40. That the side of this that's like kind of like expected is we knew this risk going in. Like, this is basically, we farmed a shitcoin and we jumped into it because we saw, a really attractive yield. And that is kind of the racket in DeFi, where like people will print these coins whose tokenomics are basically like, there's no way this can hold value. But if it says 900% APR, people are going to try to jump in and try to short-term play it. And those people will be the exit liquidity for the people who know what's going on. And again, we didn't do the research. We didn't know the distribution model. And we paid for it this time. So sometimes it can work out. So I don't want to say that this is always a bad idea. Or, well, it's always a bad idea to do stuff without researching. But it doesn't mean that we couldn't have done well. It has, but it was more or less a gamble. And this time it didn't pay out. And so we've sold that. We're down. We have now our wax back here, 16.9. 2 of that came from the Wombat rewards. So about 14, I'd say, wax that we're walking away with now after a 40 wax attempt at farming. So next, what to do with our 16 wax here? Let's double check really quick on our market. Let's just add that to our stablecoin position here. And so the way I want to do this is I'm going to say increase liquidity and see how much USDT I actually need. So if I say let's put up 13 wax, I need 17 cents as the counterpart to this. So 17 cents should get me basically the difference between 13 and what I actually have in my wallet. So if I want 0.17, 0.17 for 7, yeah, that's about 13 wax. if we did that. So about. Let's do a little bit less. Let's do 16. There we go. Okay, I'm going to swap 16 wax, and then I'll have the counterpart that I need to add into the same liquidity pool. So I don't actually need to create a new liquidity position. I can just top off the one I already created, so that's going to add to the same range as before. And so now I'm going to go back to my pools tab, click here, increase liquidity, and add that. There we go. It needs 17. I don't have quite 17, so I'm going to put up the 16, add liquidity. And then as a very last step, what we're going to do is we're going to vote for our block producers so that the staked wax that we have, I think we staked 5 wax in this wallet. We want to be earning the yield on that. The way to keep that yield up is by keeping or making sure that our stake weight stays constant. The quickest way to do that from here is I'm going to click on my wax balance up here, which is going to take me to the block explorer. And then I'm going to, on my account here, I'm going to go to wallet. Inside of wallet, I can see I have my here vote plus rewards. I guess I should log in. So if I come up here to log in, add account, I can say add an Anchor wallet. And then I'm going to log in with our DeFi wallet here, which is defi1.ftw. Boom, bang, bam. And now we can see if I come stake, if I want to say stake, no Genesis rewards to claim. That doesn't sound right. I should have something. Oh, right. Genesis rewards we probably won't have. But we should have some rewards here claimable. So you can see we've staked 5 wax. And I guess 6 wax total we've staked here. And so if we come to wallet, we can come up to manage proxy. Do we not have we not voted? We must have voted. Come to vote. No validators selected. That doesn't sound right to me. I thought we set this up. Vote and then proxies. Oh yeah, okay. Here's. Huh. Why is this not showing me the proxy that we set up and are voting for? A little strange. I should be able to see my rewards here, and I don't. I wonder if that's just a blocks thing. So I'm going to go to wax blocks.
I think the proxy should be like SXAH4, I think is the wallet.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive we set this up too. So here we go. I'm going to go to my DeFi wallet. So I already signed in over here. DeFi.1. I can come here to claim rewards. And last claim, yeah. I can claim. Genesis account has a balance of 0. That's fine. It's weird that it has no balance. So I guess I don't know how that lost its proxy here. But we should have our proxies. So I guess I need to set a proxy again. I don't know why that happened.
There
I
it
swear
is.
we've done it.
SXAH4.wham. That's ALSI2.
So this is the proxy that we like to vote with. So I'm going to say vote. Strange. I could have sworn we had done this. But if we haven't, that makes sense why we don't have block rewards. Success. So now that we're voting, now we should then be starting to earn, and we can come back here and claim these rewards in the future. Strange. I swear we did this before, so I'm gonna look into that on my own time later, and I'll let you know what I find next time we do a tech talk, because that is a little strange to me.
If you look at the transactions, there's like a specific specific name for the transaction to set your proxy, so you should be able to filter by that and see if you've done it previously.
Yeah, so here's this.
Vote producer would be the action if you can sort by actions.
Yeah, let's see.
Action name. Second row, second tab.
Action name, there it is. And it's all one word like that.
I don't know, scroll down, you just did it.
I did just do it. Here it is.
Vote producer, all one word, yes.
Okay. Vote producer, filter.
Yeah, June
Yeah,
27th.
so we should actually have rewards to claim. That is a little strange to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to claim them anyway. So I'm going to go to wallet again. I'm going to come down here to claim rewards. I'm going to say claim rewards. And it might just be that the interface is not showing me what I should be getting. So there's no harm in signing a transaction like this. Success. And then now I can come back up here, account. I should see if I've actually gotten any kind of. Yeah, so here. So there was actually an amount of wax that we earned.
No, 0.000000159 wax. We're rich, baby.
So we got it. We still got some. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to claim them. So it's probably not showing anything because it is such a small amount. But it is earning, it's like 5 or 6%. It's probably less than 5 because we hadn't re-voted. And so that's why we just did that. So we went to, again, to do that, we went up to wallet. We went to here to, what is it? To manage, to vote. And then on proxies, we then submitted our vote. So you do want to do this probably like once a month, once a week if you're anal. And if you're super anal, you want to do it, I think, Sunday after midnight Eastern time or something, because there's like a hard reset for these votes. But that'll keep your voter weight at 100%, and you'll be earning the stake rewards on your wax as best as you possibly can. And that, well, I guess there's also some honey token staked in this wallet. We can just let that ride, but I feel like it might be fun to see how it's doing. So let's just look at that really quick, and that should wrap what we're trying to do here. Kind of a harsh week to take a loss and realize the loss too, because obviously people are like, oh, if we just stay here, maybe it'll come back. The writing's on the wall. It doesn't seem like it's coming back, at least not in the next week. And maybe if it falls another 30%, maybe then we'll open up a new position and try to make it back on the way up. For now, it's not. It's safer for us to remove our liquidity, which is too bad. But it's not about hoping and praying for something. It's about like looking at opportunity and then taking that opportunity the way it goes. Oh wait, this is not the right wallet. Where is this? Log out, I believe. Staked honey, yeah, no. This is first.ftw. I have like some little thing here in the way. That's annoying, but I can do it like this. Rip the tab off. And then come down here.
Tomorrow I'm excited to see my friggin' rookie quarterback is probably going to play again. And
I should
NFL
probably
Rivals and IRL.
Okay, I'm just gonna count on my honey being there the way it should be, because I was logged into first.ftw. I have some of the White Dragon not safe for work stuff. It just like flashed on the screen for a second. It's very not safe for works. Yeah, so I like skipped it away really quick, but it was I won't risk that. So I was also not gonna do anything other than look at the honey. So
420 Spitfire asks, what proxy should I vote for? We vote for, it's like SXAH4.wham. That is Alcy2, aka Alice. She's a creator on wax.
Yeah,
and I trust her judgment personally.
Yeah, and you can find her on.
I'm gonna pull up my screen if you're done with tech stuff.
She's number 11 on the proxy list, so you can just hit the radio button and then say vote. Okay, and I will toggle back.
All right. I don't know if anybody in the audience has some input. Do we want to do off the rails, or do we want to talk about NFL Rivals and some NFT gaming stuff? I feel like NFL Rivals might take longer, but also I sort of want to just do NFL Rivals for bio. Like, I kind of want to YOLO into a blueprint and upgrade it and shit, but I can maybe wait until tomorrow to do that.
Yeah, I'm kind of stoked because the NFL Rivals new events are starting like tomorrow, right?
Right now, that's why I'm like kind of want to do.
Oh,
I can't play in the event until I get a player, but I sort of want to buy the player on stream. So, but we could do that tomorrow because the event's not going anywhere. The other thing I wanted to show off is this Boss Fighters game, which that also has a tournament tomorrow that I might try to play in if I buy this, but I haven't decided if I'm going to buy the Alpha Pass yet. This trailer's only 30 seconds though, so let's play this trailer. I guess I'll quickly describe what this is. This is it's like a Web 2, Web 3 hybrid game. And the gameplay is there are 4 people who are not using a VR headset on computer, and there's one person using a VR headset. The person with the VR headset plays as the boss, and then the 4 people run around kind of like over the shoulder, like you can see here. It's like a third-person shooter. It's pretty Fortnite-y, graphically, and like how you control, but it's kind of like Fortnite-y, and you're trying to kill the person in the VR headset, and they can walk up and like grab you and shoot you with laser beams and stuff.
Yeah, and I have a VR headset, so I could be the enemy, and you guys could jump in and try and take me out, and I could waste all you fools.
If you set it up and set up your account today, I think you're still within the realm of like you'll get a free pass. But all right, I'm gonna play this trailer. All right. They do every weekend. They do like play times. There's not an active enough player base, I don't think, to have people play all the time. So there's like scheduled play times, and they're usually from like what is that 7 to 10 p.m. EST. There's also Europe play time, so depending on where you live, there's 2 different ones. But for us, that would be 4 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. So that might even make it for our stream tomorrow if I end up buying one. But the way the sale works is, I'll post the sale in case anybody is interested, but it's on Open Loot. The difference between voting for proxies versus producers. Oh, you already answered that. Is the proxy just selects for you. As far as rewards and stuff, nothing's different. It's just you don't have to manually select which producers. The proxy selects the producers for you.
You still have to resubmit your vote, just like you would with selecting your own producers. It's just that the proxy just supplies the list of who you're voting for. So as that list changes, like 2 years ago, there's a lot of block producers in the top 21 that aren't even block producers anymore on Wax. So if you just had set those and forgot them and just kept refreshing, you could actually hurt yourself by doing that. So as far as your ability to earn maximum rewards, so the proxy kind of does all that work for you.
Change our info. We're not doing crypto necessarily anymore. Now we're doing just chatting. So people don't come in here being pissed. All of this is crypto adjacent. Anyway, the way this game works is in order to access it, unless you have a VR headset, it's free. But if you don't have a VR headset, you have to buy one of these passes. But the cool thing about these passes is, for one, you can't trade them. So this is like, don't try to buy the pass to flip the pass. But it gives you access. But in addition to giving you access, it gives you a key to unlock a profile picture and a weapon skin. So you'll get like an exclusive PFP that's only available. And that's like, I think it's kind of like, the generative avatars. There'll be a bunch of different ones. I think they'll all be unique. And then
is that also the character that you play as in the game too, or is it just the picture?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. That's cool.
You get the avatar, and I think they're all unique, and then you get to play as him. But they do not. You can't just open the pass and get these. You have to play. So it unlocks a battle pass, and you must grind to unlock it. So if you're not going to play, don't bother buying it, because then you don't even get the NFTs with it. Also, these aren't NFTs. I keep calling them NFTs, but these are digital assets, which is why this is like a Web 2, Web 3 hybrid, is because you can sell them on an aftermarket, and then on the open loop market, if you look at my wallet, I can withdraw USDC. So I can withdraw USDC to a crypto wallet. So you can sell your stuff for crypto, even though the assets themselves are not crypto, which is why it's Web 2, Web 3 hybrid.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
Assets, and you can cash out of the ecosystem. So to me, that's good enough. I don't need NFTs if I can own a one of one unique asset and still sell it. And it's like, that's fine by
This
me.
kind of reminds me. There was like a VR game like this that I played on the PlayStation VR, where like the person in the headset is like a cat, and the people who are on the controller are mice, and you're trying to like run past, and then like the cat can pop out and like try to spot you, and then you lose if you're the mouse and you get caught by the cat. This is almost like a more elaborate version of that.
Yeah, we can
It's
show
like
that off.
everyone fights the boss, and the boss is
This
like
is a fun game too.
Oh, is this the cat one? Yeah. This one was fun.
There's also like there's a different one we played that was like a Godzilla one.
See, this is only one-on-one. Like, this is super fun when it's like 4 or 5 people are playing.
That is horrifying sounding. I thought there was like this monster one.
Oh, that's right.
Game?
The Godzilla one. Yeah, I think that is the same game. Yeah. It was like a mix of a bunch of mini games, but I really like the concept of like, having one person with VR and like multiple people without it, because it's unrealistic to get a whole game, a whole lobby.
You're gorgeous. We're gaming, and together.
Oh my god! There's like these kids seem too young to be on the internet.
Kid with a. Okay.
Where's the other one? Yeah, this is the one I liked. Where you're running. You're trying to dodge like this Godzilla guy from. Yeah, it's kind of like this game, but it's definitely. I don't know. It's more in depth. It's like a mix between this and Fortnite. I don't know. The game is like you can play it right now. It's out. They're not like, crowdfunding something that'll launch 2 years from now. If you buy an alpha pass, you can play the game tomorrow during the tournament. They're also doing like I don't know. Let me see what the tournament information is. I think they're giving away like $1,000 in cash prize for the tournament for whoever wins it. So there is a way to like. I don't know. I assume people are way better than me at the. Oh shit, we might have missed. It says 1 hour until you can get an airdrop pass for the VRs, and that was 2 hours ago. So I think you just missed the cutoff for that.
Oh motherfucker! That's too bad. I have a vibe. Like that'd be super fun. I don't know. Let's see. We'll reach out to them and see if we can. I think
you should still be able to access it for free, but I don't know. Yeah, they might also just. I'm in talks with them to be an ambassador for this game, so. Yeah, this is the community tournament. Tomorrow it says, our big community tournament kicks off tomorrow. If you already own a Rowdy or grab a pass during the sale, you're automatically in. Don't forget to keep an eye out for updates as Rain's live streams and Fantastic Perk giveaways. Ready to fight for $1,000 and rare collectibles. So I guess you can maybe win some extra items in game in the tournament as well. That's what I was considering, like, that's going to start while we're streaming tomorrow. So I was like, maybe I'll buy into this and then.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
My issue is it costs $15 to buy this rare pass. And I have $9. And you can't add less than $10. So like.
Then you'd be like, okay, I gotcha.
If I could add just $6, I'd be into it. So I'm willing to pay $6. But the ad fund, you can do I guess I could also do a crypto deposit, but the gas fee is going to make it not worth it, in my opinion.
So does it have to be from Ethereum mainnet, or do they accept it from any?
They accept Tron. Tron is sort of the one where I thought
Tron's pretty fucking cheap.
I don't know how to get Tron USDC though. Like I used to try to do it through KuCoin probably, but KuCoin now is not good for me. So I don't know where I could get Tron USDC.
What's the one we use for Mythos? That probably has it.
Oh yeah, the swap protocol. Change now or whatever.
It's like, oh no, the one I was talking about, the one that we use with like Mythical Market that links with
Uphold.
What's it called? Uphold. That's it. I was thinking something with an H.
Layer 2 stuff though, and
they do, but I don't know if they let you withdraw to layer 2s. I think that might be the crux in the plan.
What's the one we used for Oasis? I feel like that one's pretty.
Oh right, Oasis. That was
chainless or not chainless. Simple swap. Let's try that.
Simple swap. That's it. God damn.
So yeah, if I can get just a couple, if I could trade Wax into this, I'd be into it. Crypto exchange. I send Wax P. as we do. Okay. And I would like USD. Oh,
There it
baby.
Damn, they have a shit ton of
Tron.
sidechains.
I can do it. So I might do this, actually. I'm probably not going to do this on stream, but I'm probably, I don't know. It does suck that I have to send $20, though. I can't send any less. But it feels better when you're buying it with crypto than when I have to take money out of my bank account.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it doesn't hit my bottom line when I'm spending my crypto because like I don't
Also,
see it
the
hit my
gas
bank
fee to
account.
send and stuff from Wax just makes it feel good.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I think tomorrow I can hatch my thing from
I was gonna
Oasis.
say, yeah, aren't you almost ready? I saw you posted you're like 2 days out. That must have been like a day or two ago. So
Let me check. I have it signed in on a different browser.
I haven't checked on my. I gotta go play with him and see if he's still happy.
Mine didn't go down in happiness. I think they kind of just chill. Show me my inventory. I'm not showing this on stream though. You know what?
Yeah.
Nobody in the chat had any opinions, but maybe we just do the NFL rival stuff tomorrow. So I feel like I want to play some games and show off the new difficulty and stuff. That's going to be more than like we've been going for 2 hours. So
Yeah, you're right. We're also, I feel like we're doing a nice little overview of a bunch of like crypto things. We're jumping around a lot. Actually, did we even finish watching the trailer for that VR one? I feel like,
yeah,
I don't feel like I saw
22
it.
hours and 3 minutes. So yeah, tomorrow I should be able to do the hatch my guy on stream or whatever. Not hatch him, but lay an egg and then see if I can sell it.
Yeah, that's the moment of truth. I'm curious.
I guess just in case you're keeping up with the rivals, I'll briefly go over this, but I'll do my actual stuff tomorrow. But it says, oh wait, this is the wrong fucking news. I have multiple rival news pulled up. All right, so a new program just launched in Rivals, and there's an in-game marketplace. And I will say, I just sold 2 players because the new in-game marketplace, they link players to the marketplace. So like somebody in-game, you can buy a new in-game currency that's like, it's not the Mythos token, but it's an in-game token that converts to the Mythos token. So like you use your credit card, you buy it, then you trade it. They use the money from that to buy Myth, and then they buy the card for you and they send it to you. So they're like bypassing using their own marketplace because it's against the TOS by like, I don't know.
And
they're doing this weird
Did
workaround.
you get Myth? Did you list yours in the in-game market, or you listed them on?
No, I list mine on the marketplace, and then without people even understanding there is an out-of-game marketplace, those listings just pop up now in the game on people's screen.
Oh hell yeah!
I should just show this off because I feel like
that's cool as hell, dude. What? That's a huge step forward.
But the other big news is big news. Oh boy, is there's a new the kickoff series just launched. So there's new packs, and then whenever there's new packs, there's new events gate kept by the pack. So like right now there's a new event where you need 1 rare card to compete. But it has all the cards in there, and then the big news here is the chase players means they're not in the packs. That means you can get them from events. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 legendary events happening. That's a lot of friggin' events. And I am now qualifying for the legendary events because I went and splurged on those expensive defensive cards. So I'm super stoked for this. I just have to qualify for them. So I need to be able to buy enough cards to qualify to compete in the events. But since I just sold 2 cards and now I have like 195 myth, I think that should be doable. The thing I was considering doing was buying this blueprint and then upgrading them, but I guess there's like 4 available, so this will probably still be around the same price tomorrow, even if I don't do it on stream today.
Yeah. Unless people are sniping you now, watching your stream.
You have to get the base card though. Like I don't have this base card, which is the other reason I don't want to buy it right now, which is why I was going to go rip a bunch of packs, but I want to do that on stream, and like this is going to be it's not going to be a super fast process to show all that off. But yeah, my strategy is get an offensive lineman or a wide receiver. And the wide receiver blueprints are actually not even cheap. They're more expensive than the cheapest wide receiver. And honestly, 14 myth is not bad for like even if I just have to buy this guy for his price, 14, 15 myth, I literally just got 16 myth times 2, And these are guys I pulled from packs from the last program. So if I can use the last program rewards to buy into the new program, that's good enough for me. Then the other thing is I know I'm going to need epics because they only let you enter some of the legendary events if you have an X amount of epic cards. So I do not want to buy too many of the rare cards because then I'll just have to upgrade and just keep buying stuff. So at some point it's going to make more sense to buy epics, but the epics are really expensive right now. So like 34 myth is the cheapest one. That's just a blueprint. 60 is the cheapest. I think other people have the same strategy. They understand like what you're going to need for the later ones. So it might be worth it to eventually get one of these because it also costs in-game currency to upgrade these guys. So I don't want to waste my in-game currency upgrading a blueprint that's only going to be usable for one event and then just have to upgrade another one, which is what I did last time. So I don't know. I don't know yet.
Then you got to grind.
It's not even grinding. It's like you only get so many per week or per 3 days. So like I'll get all of them. It's just a time thing. And then if I'm wasting them on that, then I can't level up my level 9 $100 card, and that's what lets me qualify to get the other legendary cards. So if I stop upgrading that, I'll get outpaced by the people that are upgrading that. So yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces here.
Yeah.
I will say there's also a free event that you can enter. There's a free event you can enter right now that gives you a blueprint. So I'm going to do that first, which again, I kind of wanted to do on stream before I buy any of this stuff. That'll take time because I'll have to grind through it. But there's a free event that, if you qualify, gives you a blueprint and upgrade points. So I might not even need to buy one of these rare ones if I get a good blueprint.
Okay.
But should we just watch some off the rails videos? Those are the two things I kind of want to go over, but I can go them more in depth tomorrow. But it is happening today.
It'll be more fun to see it. It'll be more fun to see it when you fucking actually ripping packs and stuff.
I could just do it now, though. I mean, I'm not doing anything. I guess it's already 5:30 and I kind of want to cook food, but
yeah, I gotta eat.
Basically, do we want to do off the rails today or tomorrow? Because if we do off the rails tomorrow, then
yeah, let's do some off the rails videos and hang for a second here. I'd vote for that.
Okay, let's do Crittercraft. Unwind Chillax.
Unwind Chillax. That's from,
is that from
30 Rock.
Community? Oh yeah.
30 Rock. It's like the
it's the Jenna
like Jenna Warren Buffett, or no wait, what's his name?
Jimmy
the
Buffett.
cheeseburger and Jimmy Buffett. Warren Buffett's the investor.
All right, we're gonna give away a Tea Party promo pack. So exclamation point neon. Oh, not yet, sorry. Now exclamation point neon if you'd like to join this giveaway. This is for Valor and Vellum's Sune collection. There is a VRL redeemable if you collect like 11 of the different ones of these pieces. You can potentially blend into something that gives you a VRL of a watercolor painting that she did.
Yeah, those are dope. I have all the like digital versions of them. I kind of want to try and get the VRL one. It's also been a minute since I scooped some packs from Valor and Vellum from.
Did she also? Let's check. She probably has packs available on.
Oh, is it
unless they
Dropline?
sold out? I think they're actually mint on demand. So it's not Valor and Vellum. It's Sune.
Yeah, Sune.
Sune. Yeah, the Dreaming of Tea pack, $2, and you get 2 characters.
Oh.
That's also way cheaper. The cheapest one of the promo pack is $10 on the aftermarket. So instead of buying on the aftermarket, go ahead and buy her drop directly from her and get her paid because it's cheaper and you get more cards. And then I think these blends are still going. I'm sure we could check on chain how many are left, but you want the 8% drop rate animated to get the painting. All right, let's watch them off the rails though.
Yeah.
I watched this last week, but you weren't here, so I'm gonna play it again. I feel like the soundbite is what makes this one great. This is a Kelsey Grammer from Frasier falling off a stage during a speech. He whiffs so hard, like I don't know how you miss the stage so hard. Like I get it when you're like a rock and roll star and you're like have your eyes closed and you're like running around and playing guitar, but he's just like speaking and walking and he just walks
trip through It's a Small World pretending I was a UN interpreter. Oh, good Lord.
Oh, good Lord.
That's good.
Oh, good Lord.
Okay, that's pretty good.
The like recovery moment too, where you're just like, oh god. I think he's like, I think I'm
Yeah.
okay.
I think I'm. Wow, that was really, really bad.
Yeah,
Pretty high
he
stage too. That's like a 4-foot stage. He ate shit.
That is, yeah. He's not a young man.
Singing. The sound guy would be upset.
So sorry for my language.
I'm so sorry for my language.
That's too funny.
Here's a slow-mo version of it. You got it's not caught on camera all the way.
Cameraman failed, dude. He should have fucking panned with him. Expect it.
I mean, people are not expecting the guy that doesn't walk right off the stage. I was watching that when it happened on TV. What was that for? It sounded like he's talking about Disney World. He's like, it's a small world.
Trip through It's a Small World, pretending I was a UN interpreter.
He was
sorry.
hurt bad.
Even if that hurt him badly, he's still alive and it's funny, but I hope it didn't fuck him up permanently.
I feel bad for laughing if he was hurt bad, but it was.
I sort of don't. He's fine as far as like if he broke his hip and never recovered or something and was like an old man that died, then that'd be sad. But he's okay. Got to be 18 years or older.
Uh-oh. What are you sharing?
I don't know how to log into my... I'm going to have to turn off my screen for a second to log in. I don't want people to see how many digits my password is.
Yeah. They'll be able to brute force you.
I'm also not even sure what my password is. To be honest, I fucking don't log into Instagram very often.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay, well that was not hard. Immediately I friggin' got it first try. All right. Sure, let's save my info so if we do this again. All right. Ooh, I wonder where my hearts are from. And I have a direct message. I'm blown up, y'all.
Yo.
Portland and so it starts wake up.
Please look at camera for entry.
Oh my god, this is like, what was that movie? The friggin' one where they like can solve crimes in the future. They're like, in the future you're gonna murder.
Oh yeah, Minority Report. You're right.
This is like that. You have to freaking scan your face to enter a building. That's nuts.
And if you stand on the shoes and look into the spheroid until you get the green light, that'll open the door for you.
Oh, stand on the shoes?
What?
I wonder if it like won't open if you're wearing.
What kind of store is that? It looks like a fucking corner store.
Yeah, it looks like a gas station.
Yeah, what?
I don't know.
That's pretty okay.
That doesn't totally bother me as someone who's not trying to rob a store. I don't think that really affects me. Like, really only affects you if you're doing illegal shit. But I guess some people don't like the Big Brother situation of it, where they're spying on you.
It's not my favorite, but it wouldn't keep me from going in the store.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, yeah, it's an inconvenience, but I don't know. What can they really do with my image? Like, as long as I'm not breaking the law, like, who cares if they have my image?
It's not like I'm not already all over the fucking internet.
All right. This next one is also from Yamster. It says, Dad of the Year award goes. Oh my God, is he longboarding with a Coors Light? One of his daughters is on his back and his other daughter is like sitting on the ground. Oh, it's an electric longboard too. It's like a motorized one. That seems incredibly dangerous. Honestly, I was doing some sort of similar scooting. When you guys were gone, I was using my scooter. I took the bike path, and I went to Ralph's and like grocery shopped, and I had like was wearing the bags around my armpits and was like, yeah, fucking. I might start doing that more though. It's kind of fun scooting to the store and not driving every time. On my, what type of scooter? I have a Segway scooter. Way too nice of a scooter for what it is. Ooh, we got a Elon Ma.
Hey!
I don't know if we can play this music. I don't know what this is. This is Elon Ma, who's an Asian guy that I'm pretty sure he uses facial tuning software to look like Elon Musk, but I guess there's a slight chance he just looks a lot like Elon Musk. But normally it says funny. It says in the chaos of life's crossroad, I get lost. Wait, is he speaking here?
I looked like he was about to say something, but then
and
he
now
didn't.
drift through the mist of unanswered questions. Inspirational. This is a pretty bizarre video. I'll give him that. I like the one where he goes, money, give to it, or whatever he says.
Give to you?
Give to you,
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Hello, GRR 187 grr.
I feel like
187 he ha.
I feel like I like Elon Ma when he speaks more than when he does like whatever that was.
Me too. We actually don't have that many off the rails videos today. Most are posted by me. I was doing some reporting on Hurricane Hillary, which
Oh, nice.
it was
Yeah, I saw
downgraded to a
some-
tropical storm by the time it hit California, where I live. It also, like, honestly, I had my windows open the entire day while it was raining, and it was not even like windy enough to have to close the windows. So really, it was not an issue until later in the night. And then it got windy and started blowing fucking rain on my guitar, so I had to shut my window. But for most of the day and evening, like, it was not bad at all in Van Nuys.
Yeah.
Some places got hit hard though, so like we'll go through some of
I
these.
wonder how badly people got riled up about it.
Music's probably copyrighted. Here's a guy canoeing just on the side of the road. Which I also heard this is super dangerous to do because, like, one, you don't know how much more water could rush in from like a different input, and it can cover like garbage and shit, and you could like basically just get sucked into a hole and drown. So people say don't do this, but it looks fun. I don't know. There also
does
isn't
look
that
fun.
much rain. I feel like if it's a more intense storm, you probably should not do that. But
For a second, I thought that was just the LA River, but nah, dude, that's just the street.
yeah, it's the side of like a highway. It kind of looks like. Here's another one.
Man, this
here.
weak,
This guy's like, Hillary's weak.
Hillary
man,
is
this
here.
weak ass hurricane.
But honestly, that's still a lot of water for LA.
That looks like
The guy's
fun.
just floating down.
I've done
Trying to
that
catch a
shit
fish
before.
and shit, couldn't find shit.
I swam in the
Here's a picture
street
of the guy
before.
trying to fish in the street. This is
Although
honestly
when I
more
did
rain
it,
than
it
our
was-
street got.
It wasn't flowing where I did it. It was like the street in front of my house, and when I lived in Detroit, it was like a bow, like a down area, and that whole thing filled with water, and we all swam in it. And the storm drain was there, and it was like causing a huge like whirlpool, sucking all that water down. But it took like hours to clear, so we were swimming in it for a while.
I do think it's funny that like you're supposed to stay indoors. There was like warnings all over our phone, like do not go outside. Like this is a life-threatening situation. And then there's all these videos of people like kayaking and like boating down the
Yeah.
street and fishing and stuff. Which honestly, I went out in
Tubing
it too.
down
I'm
the
a
street.
fucking idiot. Because I don't know. The storm
Yeah,
had passed. It was also like this is where it looks intense as fuck. This was Long Beach.
dude,
The
you gotta go
craziest
kayaking
part
in
about
that.
this is there are cars in it. Like, for one, if people don't know, this is the LA River. The LA River is essentially drainage, so our streets don't flood. Like, all the water gets pumped into these. It's not a real river. It's like runoff, city runoff, super dirty water. But there should be 0% chance you have a car in this. Like, you shouldn't drive your car anywhere near this river. So how the fuck are cars in it? It's just a car floating down the LA River. And I will say that's an incredible, like the most water I've ever seen in the LA River. The LA River
Yeah,
is
it's
generally
usually like a trickle.
yeah.
Dude, that is
There's another one too. My guess is people like the LA River, somewhere where you'd go abandon a car. So I guess like you can see the rear windows broken from this car. Like I started to think this was like a total car someone just left in the LA River before it rained and then it got scooped up. That's my guess of how this happened. But I don't know. The cargo looks way fucked up, like not from being in a river fucked up. Like I think that was like a totaled car somebody just abandoned there. But I don't know. Hard to say.
That's wild.
This is another one I saw, and then I also have a disapproval of this one. So this went viral. People were like, "Look how badly LA's flooding. Doesn't that look insane?" Like it looks like Dodger Stadium just completely surrounded by like a fucking ocean of water. Which
Dodger Stadium is also like on a hill. There's no fucking way that would happen.
Also, one thing you can see is the stadium. There's no water inside of it. The field's green. I think this is an optical illusion. The ground is wet, and that's the light reflecting off the water on the ground. So it is wet, but it's not like they posted the next day because this went viral. This was Dodger Stadium the next day. If that was an ocean of water, it would not look like this. Like,
yeah,
we're like, we're fine.
Yeah, it's like we'll be all right. Yeah. Also, so like you said, it's not like it's a watertight stadium. Like there would be water in the stadium too. It's not like it's not raining in there.
Yeah. So I don't know. That was an optical illusion, but it freaked me out when I saw it at first. I was like, what is going on? Like that's so much, because that's like a part of LA that's not that far from where we are. So I was like, are we about to get that much water? But I later learned that was not true. Palm Springs, the desert is where it got at the worst because they just don't have drainage out in the desert. So like, it kind of went off course
there for so long. Like the ground is so fucking dry that it doesn't absorb the water, so it doesn't sink into the ground.
It sort of went off course. Like people thought it was going to come up the coast, but it ended up taking like a hard right into more central California. And like Palm Springs got wrecked. I'll show some of those.
Oh damn! I didn't even see these.
Where tropical storms, you don't really expect to see them, but that's not the case. Right here in Rancho Mirage, it's by Palm Springs. A lot of water. This is Frank.
Yeah, that's just like a road. Like that's a road like you don't want to be driving on that. If your car loses traction, then you might end up in the freaking LA.
Sinatra Drive, and it is shut down.
That is dangerous. That's like life threatening there. You wouldn't want to go out in that. You get messed up.
Honestly, in general, when I went out, I walked, which I guess is not super safe, but I wouldn't want to drive my car because like you don't know how deep the water is some places. So like you might just drive through like and flood your engine. So
yeah. Also, the road could get washed out underneath. Like the road could have been like washed away below it, and then you wouldn't even see it.
Is what is a typically dry river is overflowing, and it's carrying this floodwater downstream. Numerous roads here in the area are shut down.
Who's trying to drive their car on that? Like,
Palm Springs declared a state of emergency. Driving is treacherous, not only from hydroplaning, which we've seen cars off the highways because of that, but also because of erosion. This amount of water can easily erode the roadways and highways, and that could be very dangerous if you try to make it across. And it's still coming.
Drive right into that hole.
A tropical.
That guy's all wet.
I hit the worst. Also, like Baja, California, I believe got hit like super bad. Like it was an actual hurricane when it was in Mexico. So the places closer to Mexico got hit harder. Here's more Palm Springs. Which I think this is funny. Best part about this video is look at the drive-through McDonald's. It's still full. It's like, what? Fucking stay home, people. Like, what are you doing trying to drive through this shit just to get McDonald's? Like, the street's totally flooded. Why are you going to McDonald's?
Like,
even this person driving, like, are you on a boat? What are you doing? Like, your car should not be driving through this deep of water. Line fucking...
What kind of car is that he can just like power through that shit?
People are just wild. Like, you think it's a good idea to drive your car through this shit?
You got it, dude. When you need a Big Mac, you got to go.
That's like call into work and don't go if that happens. Like,
I feel like you should get some hazard pay if you're going into work when there's a hurricane.
You just shouldn't even have like. It's understandable to not make it to work if those are the conditions. Like, sorry, like store's shut for today. That's why people stock up on food beforehand. Like there were like rushes to the stores and like people are buying all the water and food like from grocery stores the day before because people are worried they wouldn't be open because of.
when we lived in Seattle, there was like that ice storm once, and like my house was like up on the mountain, like higher up than like the down, and I like worked in the valley at the movie theater, and like everybody's power was out, so like everybody was going to go to the movies, and like I was like, hey, I can't get out of here, and like the manager called me like multiple times, like, oh, do what you can. I'm like, I'm not leaving, dude. Sorry, like I live in the fucking mountains, like, and they just like it's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna do this for $7.50 an hour, like fuck you.
This is one of my favorite memes I saw based on the situation. They said Hurricane Hillary because it's the same as Hillary Clinton spelled. So you got Hillary Clinton here. Okay,
that's pretty fun.
I thought this was incredible. It's her, like, that must be some sort of campaign, like, oh, are we getting raided? Thank you for the raid, NFT Gamer TV. We're looking at we live in Los Angeles. Max was out of town, but I was here and I weathered Hurricane Hillary, which turned into a tropical storm by the time it hit Los Angeles. Thank you for the subscription, TV.
It was downgraded to Tropical Storm Clinton.
Yeah, this is the meme we have for it. I thought that was hilarious, though. Here, I'll show a couple of the ones we just showed because people missed it, but like the LA River got crazy.
Yeah.
Like this is the craziest
cars being washed away. That's
This is our drainage
system. Yeah, if you're familiar with the LA River, it's like a gutter usually. It's like the amount of water that you'd see next to the street. It's like nothing.
Thank you for the subs or the follows or whatever that is. Appreciate it. Yeah, LA River.
Thanks, man. Keeping our lights
LA
on through
River
the hurricane.
Was nuts. We also have a grub fish if anybody wants to do an exclamation point neon. We're giving away a Sune Tea Party promo pack. It's a part of a VRL she's doing. If you collect 11 of these and get lucky on the blends, you can get a physical watercolor painting mailed to you from Priscilla. So exclamation point neon if you want to join that. Thank you for all these gift subs, TD. We appreciate it. I also want to show there are a bunch of trolls happening on Twitter. Even though like the situation was pretty rough in places, people are posting shit and saying this is the Hurricane Hillary, and it was not, and it was absolutely hilarious to me. Like Max, you'll probably know where this is from, but this just said let me read to you what this says. Breaking. A plane has just crash landed in Long Beach, California as a result of Hurricane Hillary and the 5.5 earthquake. Stay safe out there. As the scene, Max.
Let's check out Steven Spielberg's reward and production design.
Isn't that just Universal Studios?
Yeah, that's the tram tour for World of the World. So that's like the set of a movie, and people are like, "Oh my god, Hurricane Hillary is horrible," and I was like, "That's hilarious." That like, I don't know, this got 440,000 views and went viral, but there were a bunch of funny kind of like trolling versions, so it's kind of hard to figure out what was real and what wasn't because people are posting a bunch of fake shit. But this one made me laugh, and I was like, "This is worth showing for the lulz."
Yeah, they got them. They got us.
All right, we got a few more videos, and then we'll do our giveaway. This is from Yamster. Yamster went hard this week. Oh, I saw this video, actually. This is like, San Francisco is just so fucking, like, crime-induced that people are, while your car is parked, breaking into your car and stealing your shit. Not even parked, like, while you're stopped at a light or whatever. Check this shit out. Somebody gets out of this black... They're like, these are the thieves in the black car. They hop out of the black car, break their back windshield, and just steal the shit out of their car while they're driving. Like, that's the driver, too. That's not even, like, the passenger. Like, what? That's insane.
What the fuck?
Be careful driving in freaking San Francisco right now.
San Francisco is getting, like, the reality there is, like, what people imagine LA's crime to be like. Like, crime here is not that crazy.
I heard it's because they like decriminalize like minor offenses because they don't have like enough jail room or something. So like people are just not afraid of getting caught of doing it. But I don't know the legitimacy of those claims. I will say crime has been an issue for a long time in San Francisco, though. Like when I drove to my friend's place, which he paid like several $1,000s a month for each roommate, They both worked for Apple. They were working for a major tech company, living in like not a bad neighborhood. They were like, "Hey, take everything out of your car," because I was like traveling, and they're like, "Even if you have a gym bag, like people will steal that. So like, even if you have an empty bag, just take everything out. If there's anything in there, you're gonna get broken into." And that's like
I do
not
that. I
even
do
in a
that
bad
here
neighborhood.
too. Yeah, an empty backpack is like, nah, that's too much. People think there's stuff in it.
All right, this is from Yamster. He says, "I'm buying a Scion XB." Oh my god!
Just a good old boy.
I can't play this music. I do love me some. I believe that's Waylon Jennings. That's also the theme song for the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah,
That's why
he's
they're playing
juking
this.
that cop pretty great.
Just a good old boy. I feel like that's Waylon Jennings and someone else. Honestly, this guy is messing the cops up. They cannot catch this
Yeah,
Scion.
he's just playing.
Oh my
He's
god! And
waiting.
then gets out of the
Oh
car
my
while it's
God,
going.
what?
This person's got to be on some drugs.
He's ghost riding.
Oh!
Oh, you can't box that car. That thing has like no center of gravity.
Still
It's
going.
massive.
This is an impressive car chase.
If they could,
God, the music makes it so much better.
fighting the system like a true modern day Robin Hood.
Oh, they got him. They got him.
That was impressive.
That was a good coordinated effort by the cops, honestly.
Song written, recorded by Waylon Jennings. Couldn't remember if somebody else was on that song. I felt like it might have been a duet. Nope, just Waylon Jennings on the songwriting. I love Waylon Jennings, though. He's Outlaw Country, one of my favorite country artists. Shout out to Waylon Jennings. I feel like while we have a bunch of people here, thank you for the raid, by the way. Let's show off. You all should help us vote for Mark. Mark is in like a competition with this pizza company right now for King Pizza. It's free. You don't need to sign up for anything. You can just click vote. Please vote for King Pizza. I'll put the form
Yeah,
here.
vote for a homie Mark. Here he is. He'll beg you himself.
Hi, my name is Mark Hart, and I'm the co-owner.
First, we'll show it off. You just click start survey down here. King Pizza, Mark Hart. That's our boy. Don't even read the other ones. Just click finish survey. That's all you need to do.
Don't even look at them.
And if he wins this, he wins some money to support his business. So, TD, if you can send me that via DM, I can play it, but I can't click links here. Anyway, if anybody can click that link and help us, that would be awesome. And here's Mark's pitch if you want to see what it's all about.
Owner of King Pizza alongside Chris Forrest and Tessa Moore. King Pizza is a restaurant in the historic district of downtown Wenatchee. We make pizza from scratch in a New York style. We do a 48-hour ferment cycle using a sourdough yeast culture. I named it Seymour. Yeah, we just want to be a fun, cool place downtown. We really take our role downtown very seriously to try and contribute to this growing region. And we really just want to be a gathering place for our community. I really love this business. There's a certain special level of crazy to do this for a career. It's
as a man who is worn out from construction.
It's Mark.
He's been working his ass off to open this place for months.
He has. That's why we don't see
restaurants are just this perfect level of organized chaos, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. We've been working for other people for so long. It means a lot to kind of do something ourselves in our own image and do something that reflects us. King Pizza is more than just...
Also, Paul did the logo, so like the King Pizza logo is from Neon Space artist Paul, keeping it in the family.
A restaurant and a bar. We really want to be that place you go for date night, that place you take your coworkers for happy hour, place you watch the game on Sunday, and the medium we do that is great pizza and cocktails. I hope when people walk in the door, they can really see and feel the labor of love of what we put into here. In 3 years, I'd like to see King Pizza be the talk of the town. We want to be the best restaurant in town. We want to be the thing that you tell your friends that come to visit, where they should go, and they absolutely have to try. I think we want to be the gathering place for our local community and be somewhere that people are really proud to share with us. My name is Mark Hart with King Pizza. Please vote for us. It would be my pleasure to cook for you.
All right. So that's Mark giving his pitch. If you happen to be in Wenatchee,
it's Mark.
This pizza restaurant should be opening soonish, probably in the next couple of months.
Yeah, they're coming along. As you can see in the I want to go. I want to taste his pizza because I feel like He's talked it up quite a bit. I have high expectations. Also, Mark's a pretty good cook.
Yeah, he also worked at a pizza restaurant for years. Like, he was the pizza chef at I forget what it's called, but it's like that pizza restaurant in the Highlands in Washington.
Oh,
it's like a more gourmet pizza place. It wasn't like a chain.
It wasn't like Flying Pie, right?
No, I'm forgetting the name because I haven't been there in so long.
I don't know either.
Yeah, cool that he's making progress on that. All right, let's watch some more Off the Rails videos. Had to get our Mark plug in. We want to support Mark. If he wins money on that, that'd be great too, because he's spending a ton of money on construction for that restaurant.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did we already watch this one? We did not.
I don't think so.
This one says explore viral glow up.
How to glow up or glow down?
Glow down.
Glow down. Do you want to see what she looks like right now?
Yeah.
She's right here.
Hi.
Where do you think?
Hell no.
That's so rude. What's your type then?
Let me show you.
Wait, what the? Do you think this girl...
That was pretty great. It's weird to fucking show somebody like a baby picture and be like, would you now bang this person? Like, I don't know.
I guess glow up or glow down is like, did they blossom or did they like, not so much?
It was pretty funny. They're just like, hell no. And then he went and kissed his boyfriend, I assume. All right, this one's also from Yamster. It says privileged. I don't know.
Black person ever calls you cracker, just let them say it. You can say things they can't say either, like, thanks for the warning, officer. If a black person ever calls you cracker, just let them say it. You can say things they can't say either, like, thanks for the warning, officer.
That's a pretty funny, brutal social commentary right there.
Not bad, not bad. Good social commentary.
Police in the United States shoot black people for no reason. That's what what that one's about.
It's a warning shot.
All right. This is our last Off the Rails video, unless TD wants to DM me that one that he was posting.
Oh, good. Whew, good, because I got to go pee.
I got to eat, too. I haven't really eaten much today. This one says, I ain't hating. Not sure what that means. Looks like some construction.
This guy fucking swears homeless because he wants to be, look at that, who's joisting it, taping everything.
He has a tape measure.
He's going to take this to his job. Look at him. You're not wrong. He stole those the joisting scaffoldings from them, and then he stole some wood from us. Oh, and look at that skylight on top. I'm impressed by that. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, and them trees, bro. He fucking stole it from like over here and this little garden right here.
This guy's got a baller freaking setup, to be honest.
What? Yeah, a little shanty,
can you just
dude.
do that? Like, what the cops make you not build a fucking?
Oh, 100% you can. You cannot do that. You can't build permanent structures.
A little Buddha. Oh, and he has sliding doors. Look at that.
Not bad though.
I've been trying to exercise more lately, and there's kind of like a homeless encampment. The closest one to where we live is like not the bus stop that's closest to us, but the second one. Like if you're walking towards Ralph's, I guess mostly.
Oh yeah, in that direction. That's like a bunch of people in tents and like just on like mats, and then in the other direction, there's like a bunch of RVs where people just live on the RVs.
The people in the tents. When I walk by, there's always this one woman sweeping. She's like, I'm like, damn, you're like keeping your fucking homeless area cleaner than we keep our area. Like we take less good care of our home that we pay money for than you do like a public street. So shout out to people tending to their homes, even if that's why they call them unhoused. You can have a home and be unhoused. It's not a house, it's a home.
Right.
Technically homeless is now like an offensive thing to say. It's not politically correct. So
yeah, I've ridden my bike past that place a few times. Like, I see a lot of people just like zonked out on hard drugs there too.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that kind of just lie on the sidewalk. Next to the sidewalk, there's grass, and the people be just kind of like passed out there. It's next to Rigo's Tacos. If anybody's looking for a place that's just surrounded by homeless people, unhoused people, to eat. I'm honestly not a big fan of their food. I'm not a big fan of their food. I feel like that's just not the best taco joint, and there's so many good taco joints in LA. Like the burrito I had there was pretty mid.
Oh yeah, I went to a restaurant in Seattle that was like I like sat outside with my dog because I have my dog. I can't go inside. Sat on the patio, and then like there was just like straight up like 4 or 5 like prostitutes working the corner, and I was just like watching people pull up, and it was kind of early in the day still. It was probably like 4 or 5 p.m. So like they didn't get a whole lot of business. So I feel like those like it's pretty early to be hooking because I feel like people usually go for that after they struck out, on the free circuit. But some of these women were barely dressed, like straight up. It was like all string lingerie, and like one of them was a little person, which I was like, damn, she's got like a leg up here, dude. Some people probably go for the little person thing, but I didn't realize because they all look like young, very good looking women. I figured they'd all be like on apps or like online, but I didn't realize you still work in the corner. But I don't know. It was fun to eat and watch people pull up and inquire.
I feel like it's probably sketchy for your like identity to be on the internet if you're like advertising sex. Although people definitely do it on the apps.
Yeah, people do it all the time.
Says, were you on Aurora?
Oh my god, I was on Aurora. Yeah, it was the patio. It was the name of the restaurant. The patio on Aurora. Yeah.
I need to do some research. What exact cross street was it? Just kidding.
I mean, if you just look up the patio, was the name of the restaurant, is right on Aurora. Yeah, there was like quite a few prostitutes out, and I hadn't seen that since I moved from like Florida. I haven't really seen people actually working the corner.
Honestly,
like
in Los Angeles, I'm sure we just don't know the right streets because LA is huge. But
yeah.
Honestly, I don't have any problems like the in-house people in that encampment near where we live. Like none of them have ever bothered me. Like they're always just minding their own business. And I walk by there like almost every day now. So I do my round as I go like up usually to where the LA River is. Then I turn left and I walk all the way around to that place and I just do a big loop. It takes about an hour to walk that. I'm crushing that lately now it's not super hot out.
There's like an unstable guy who like rides his bike around our place here. And like if you look at him, he'll like flip you off and like maybe yell at you from like across the street or something. But like I've had a few interactions with him, and he's just like he flips from being like aggressive to being like friendly, like on a dime. It's really weird.
Got some like serious bipolar issues.
Yeah, like
I've seen that guy too. Honestly, I just don't make eye contact. I've never had a problem with that guy either.
Yeah, he like yelled something at me, and he's like getting real close to me, and I was like, "Yeah, man, that's fine, dude. Like, yeah, whatever." And like I was just like agreeing with him, and then like after I agreed with him, he was just like, "All right, God bless you. Have a great day." I was just like, "Okay."
Usually, like I've walked by him when he's riding the bike on the opposite side, and like he never even comments at me. Like if you don't, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
if you like lock eyes with him, he'll flip you off. He'll flip you off and yell at you if you look at him. But that's pretty much it.
That's the trick. I
love
don't look him in the eye.
Like knows where the hooking corner is in Seattle.
I treat him like a bird box. Just
blindfold
yourself, walk by, don't look him in the eye, and he can't affect you.
Yeah, he's the Ark of the Covenant.
Yamster, I don't know if you missed it, but we just played a bunch of your off the rails videos. I think my favorite one is probably the Scion. That Scion video where he's just mad dodging cops is pretty.
Or that one where the guys are stealing shit out of the car like mid in traffic. That's insane. I ain't never seen that before. That was a heightened version of theft. Pretty cool. Pretty like wild. Cool is the wrong word.
And we'll simulate this, but since we have some new people that rated in, there's a new program in NFL Rivals because I know some of you have tried to convince to play Rivals. Now there's an in-game marketplace, so people can buy your cards listed on the website marketplace from in the app, which honestly, like immediately today, I sold 2 cards that I haven't been able to sell. They've been listed for like a couple weeks. Nobody wanted them. As soon as they added this in-game marketplace, boom, they sold. So it's already working. This is phase 1. You can only, they like suggest, they're like, okay, here's a running back better than your running back. But eventually I think you'll be able to like fully look at the marketplace. But for now, it's kind of like the rollout phase where the MVP minimum viable product. And also there's a new packs out. They upgraded the defense. They added a bunch of new stuff. Like the interface looks totally different. Rivals is kind of killing it. I'm loving it. In other news, my friggin' my club in the friggin' racing game is full. 50 out of 50 people joined. Neon
Nitro
Space
Nation,
Club is
right?
killing it. I'll have to start kicking people if y'all want to join because I'd rather have a community in there than randos. If anybody wants to join, let me know. I'll have to figure out how to figure out who's inactive. But I've been really enjoying Nitro Nation as well. And I still play Blankos daily. Mythical has 3 games I play every day that are actually fun. So they're absolutely killing it, in my opinion. And they're all free to play, so you can play any of these games without buying and stuff. So check it out. Tomorrow we're going to show off more Rival stuff. We've been streaming for a long time today, but I want to show you my strategy for buying into the new sets for the least amount of money possible. I usually spend like under $5 to compete in like 5 or 6 events. Then those earn me NFTs that I can sell for more than that. So I usually end up profitable on these events. And then
yeah, if you want to know how to play the game and actually play and earn for real, like Lewis does that. Like since the day one, I think you've made money on that game and your fucking team kicks ass.
Yeah, it's also not guaranteed, but
know what
like
you're doing.
I can at least get you in for the cheapest possible because you have to play well to qualify for the event. So if you're not good, you're not going to qualify for anything. Boss Fighters we looked at, I might look at this tomorrow as well, but it's a new kind of Web 2, Web 3 hybrid game that looks fun. They've got their sale going right now. There's also multiple batches. I think they said there's going to be 300 of these. So there should be 5 batches of the 60 sales. It's kind of misleading that they're doing them in batches, but
okay.
All right, let's do this giveaway. That's also why I'm not worried about buying right now, but I might buy it later tonight. So I do want to try it out. And $15 to get into a game is not like an absurd amount. And if I can unlock like a 1-of-1 PFP that's unique to my character, that they said like will only be available during this alpha stage, and they'll have new artwork for the new ones. I don't know. It's like a founder's PFP for $15, not bad. But you do have to grind it to unlock it. It's not like an instant unlock. So if you're not going to play the game, also not worth buying into. Let's do this giveaway for the. What? Oh yeah, I was trying to. Yeah. I got it moderately set up. I'm sure you're better than me if you want to do the.
I can do that. I can do like the scale. I'll set up the base station. This is like a full-on like plug into your computer HTC vibe. This thing fucks.
It'd also be fun to play like if you set up the camera so we can see you. I could play against you and people could like see your movements based on.
Right.
I also wouldn't mind playing Rec Room again. Like I miss Rec Room paintballing. I used to love that game.
Yeah. Dude, the paintball, they had it's basically the you can cheat in that game if you like when you first calibrate the system, you calibrate it so that instead of like when you're calibrating it, you're supposed to set the headset on the floor and then tell it to calculate so it knows how tall you are. If you just set it like on a table and let it calculate, and then like your guy is like super short, and then you're running around playing first-person shooter, and you're basically Odd Job from Goldeneye.
I feel like they should have updated that so like your height is the same no matter what.
Yeah.
We also haven't played it in a few years. I'm sure they've like the one good thing about Rec Room is they were always updating and making it better. So it's probably way better than it ever even was. Now that's why I want to try it again.
Even still, I'm like on like forums and stuff for VR stuff, and Rec Room comes up all the time. So that's still very active.
I feel like it's gonna be like the RuneScape where it's just like as VR improves, they're just gonna keep improving, and it's gonna be like a fucking staple of VR.
Yeah, I also really love the quest games where you have to like high five the people who were like got down.
Ooga!
Let's go!
Congrats, Ooga!
Oh,
I liked the disc golf one too, the frisbee one.
Yeah, that was fun. All those games were actually pretty good. Even just hanging out in like the lobby, talking to other people, or like throwing stuff at each other is fun.
I will say because like almost all the headsets have built-in microphones, like the community feeling and your ability to like chat with other players is better in that.
One time I played in VR and all I did was like we played like a virtual version of Cards Against Humanity, and it was like you're just standing around a virtual table and playing like a card game with people, and everybody has a VR headset and everyone's like talking, and I don't know, it felt really fun. Even though like
if we want to set it up though, we're gonna have to like mount it to the ceiling. I feel like that's really the only way to do it because you don't want like stuff to get into the way. It's like the height I had it too, like my computer. So I was trying to sit down and use it, but then like stuff was getting in between the receiver and the goggles, and I feel like mounted to the ceiling looking down is sort of the way to go.
Yeah, I could probably grab a few like tripods and set them. It might not be high enough. I want it to be pretty high.
The other thing we could do is
I drilled them into the wall, and they were like in the corners of the rooms, like way up high.
You could maybe put one on the corner where the like or all those cameras, those Polaroid cameras Paul has, like that's pretty
Yeah.
high up there. It
Yeah,
just has
right
to
up
be able to
there.
see the other one.
It has to be angled down too, is the thing. So it can't just be sitting there and looking straight. It has to because
You could maybe put it on like a phone tripod and angle it down.
Yeah, and for people who don't know what we're talking about, there's in order to work with the VR, there's 2 of these base stations. They have to be on like either side of your play area, and they have to see each other and the VR headset, so that they basically triangulate your position, and you can play room scale VR. It's not super intuitive, honestly, but
we're gonna do one more giveaway! !Neon. This will be for a Dogzilla Woof pack, which is Buzz King's collection. Shout out to Buzz King, friend of the Neon Space. And these blends, there's a blend on Nifty Blocks where you can blend the it's like a tire and then the little corgi, and you can get potentially like several different vehicles.
I think I'm still missing the moped epic, but I have all the other blends all the way up to epic. I'm gonna have to find someone to trade. I think I have a couple dupes, but they're cute.
He also has an open drop on a Nifty Block. So if you want to try to do some blends, you don't have them, you can just buy the packs directly. I think they're pretty cheap. I think they're like 30 cents or something too.
Yeah, they're very affordable.
I don't think Ludi has a wax towel. Ludi also does not do aftermarket splits.
Yeah, if there is a wax towel, I don't think it's an official one from them, because anybody could make one theoretically.
I think you actually can't. You have to have permissions to. You have to add the wax towel permission for the contract. I asked Mike about that.
Okay.
But Ludi has a giveaway club where I think that's kind of like Burst Stinger badge, where like random mints get selected for giveaways. I think you might need to be in the Discord to join those giveaways. I honestly don't follow as closely as I should, but they do give back to holders. It's just not in the same way. It's not like a wax towel farm. They also like sometimes you just get airdropped. Like I got airdropped the Pixigon collaboration without signing up for anything. So sometimes you just get collabs airdropped to you, and like the Momo tokens I think you also get. So you do end up getting rewarded. It's just not a wax towel farm, and there's not a secondary split.
I actually kind of like that because they stay in your wallet. Although I guess Waxstat does have non-custodial farms now, so I'm gonna roll that back.
Mike said, "Missed what happened. You did not win the last Crittercraft, but we've just kind of been hanging out, looked at Rivals a little bit, and we watched some off the rails videos depending on when you left."
Yeah, and
we're gonna wrap the stream up pretty soon here.
Crypto stuff.
The Momo tokens are like, we have some to give away actually, but they're not FTs, they're NFTs. They're just like spinning tokens. Let's see. Lude. Actually, we probably can't see it because it's a.
Yeah, it'll be blurred. Oh no, it's not blurred.
Kind of afraid to.
There they are.
These. The Momo coins. I think these are airdrop to holders. Because I've never, like, I have these in my wallet and I've never bought. Oh, there's some boobs on them.
And then they're
we're getting sketchy today with our NSFW content. Pixtology Wax. I believe he's the creator of Rug Apes, right? Rare Rugs. You know what? I'm going to turn on the not safe for work thing on this so that doesn't happen again.
That's probably a good idea. I accidentally showed like some of the White Dragon stuff, and it was like fully topless. Not
honestly. Who cares about boot? Like, I know it's not okay on Twitch, but like, one, you have to be 18 plus to watch our stream. That's in the friggin', you have to click a thing saying I'm like above age to watch our stream. So like, there's no minors watching our stream as far as legality goes. And like, even if so, who cares? It's just fucking boobs. We're not showing like hardcore sex or anything. It's just the human body.
I pulled some pretty cool ones from that White Dragon drop. I have like mint 10. That one's like very topless.
!Neon. If you want to join this last giveaway before we wrap up, tomorrow I will be showing off NFL Rivals. Tomorrow's probably just gonna be a friggin' mythical day. I'll show off Rivals, and I also want to show off Nitro Nation. Max hasn't really seen Nitro Nation yet, so I'll show him how that works.
I am into it. I do have some myth tokens still. Like I had sold some rival stuff. And the myth token pumped a lot recently, like up 40% or something, after having fallen a lot too. So like, let's not get too excited.
Honestly, play for free though. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
If you join my club, you don't need to buy the workshop because you can use my workshop. So like, even the only thing that you can use in game, you can only use your workshop if you're a club owner. So you'd have to make your own club if you want to use your workshop. They are going to add it in the next update, so non-club owners can use workshops, which might spike the price. So if I were you and you wanted to buy a workshop, which we can also go over this tomorrow, but I think the thing you'd want to buy is a rarity. I would go for rare. Rares aren't that much more expensive, but I get a service shop because you can't use service shops right now. They just don't work at all. So I think they're the cheapest because you literally can't use them. But in the next update, you'll be able to equip one if you don't have. And the speed bonus is important because it takes like 5 hours to service my car. And this is going to looks like a 30 to 40% boost on that, which is like a drastic increase in being able to actually play the game. So I think that if you want to join mine, you can use, I have an upgrade workshop, which you'll see are much more expensive because those are like the meta right now.
Yeah.
Upgrade workshop is cheap as 60 myth compared to 20 myth. So it's like 3x the price. But because I have an upgrade workshop equipped in the Neon Space Club, anybody that joins the Neon Space Club can use my workshop. So you get all the stats I have. And I actually have multiple. I have the upgrade, the expediter, the service, and the custom shop. So eventually I'll be able to equip all 4 of these to the Neon Space Club, and you'll be able to use all of them. But for now, you can only use one, and you have to upgrade the club, which is not in this update yet. Let's see, the cars I think are still $50. So it's like, I guess if you really like this game and want to try to buy a car, but I personally am waiting until the car prices come down. At $58 is the cheapest car, and it costs about $50 in game to buy a car pack. So I personally, if I wanted to spend $50, would just buy the pack. So you might get an S tier car. These are A tier cars, which are not as good as S tier. And if you have a chance to pull a rare one, like why wouldn't you go for the pack? If the worst thing you can pull out of the pack is more expensive than the pack, buy the pack. I guess because you have myth would be the only reason not to, but
yeah, I want to see this gameplay tomorrow too.
How do I see the tier? S tier, let's see, the cheapest S tier is $170. Hot damn. So it's way more beneficial if you can pull one of those out of a pack. Yeah, that's because the price of the pack's the cheapest one you can buy is $50. So that's not sustainable for a mobile game. They're going to have to release cheaper packs. So I'm waiting until that to buy in personally.
Yeah, that's kind of like what happened to Rivals too. So
yeah, I've seen it happen. But I did buy these because these are $5, and I bought them for $3. The price of myth went up, but 20 myth for $3. I was like, I can scoop like a handful of these for under $15. That's within what I'm willing to spend on a game. And also these packs are $50. So I don't know why these are so much cheaper. Like the cheapest pack for these is as expensive as the cars, and they're selling for like a tenth of the price. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and buy that while it's cheap because that seems like a not bad buy.
Yeah, so join us tomorrow and see how this pans out.
We can play this tomorrow too. Max missed this as well because he's been on vacation, but I started playing. You should download this so you can play with me tomorrow, Max. It's called Chronicles. Summoner Wars Chronicles. Let's see if we can see co-op gameplay. Because I think you can do co-op dungeons together. How to play co-op. Here we go. Yeah, you can play with your friends. So if you join my server, Max, you'll be able to play with me. This game's actually sick for an NFT game.
Hello, everyone. Johnny Hurricane here from GamersHeroes.com. And today we're going to go over how to play co-op in Summoner War Chronicles.
You should also, Max, if you make an account, I am the healing class, so either choose the range DPS or the tank class.
Let's get started. All right, so if you see the person, all you really have to do is click on them and then click invite, and that's it. That'll work. Now, you can do it via friends list, but when you start the game, you can't add friends. I don't really know why. I guess maybe you could trade items or something. I'm not sure, but you need to wait until you get to the first kind of big town area, and then I think you can invite that way as well. So you can see I don't have friends, but now if you can't see each other, the easiest way to do it is actually have your person that you're trying to invite talk in global chat, and then open up the chat menu, click the name. Again,
all right, so now we know that for tomorrow. I kind of want to see the gameplay though, not just
okay.
Here, I'll show you dungeon gameplay. It looks sick. Like here's a party dungeon, so he's playing with real people. You can go in with your friends. Damn, this person's level 50. My guy's like level 3. But the way the game works is like you have your summoner, and then you get multiple like demons or whatever they call them, creatures you can summon. And then the creatures you can toggle between them, and they each have different moves. So you can use one that goes on cooldown, then you can switch to your other summon creature, and like you rotate around the cooldowns. Then you yourself also have multiple moves with cooldowns and an attack. It's a pretty like in-depth NFT game. This is the gameplay.
This is just fun.
I'm actually not even sure. But the graphics are pretty good. It's a huge download. It's like a several gigabyte game. They also have these like platformer things where you have to dodge fire and I don't know. This game's super cool from the little I played. And the fact that we can play with homies in party dungeons makes me very interested in it. Then there's also arena, so we could do PvP combat with each other.
Yeah, damn, this looks pretty fun.
And this is made by a developer who made non-NFT games first, and they have like, I think, like 40, 50 million downloads on their previous game. So this is like a legitimate developer, and I guess we can search what chain it's on, but I think it's all like private, like in-app, like you're not using public marketplaces for this stuff. Which again, I'm fine with centralization for good games. Summoners War Chronicles, what chain? It's very not blockchain forward, like on the Terra blockchain.
Oh, I'd have to even look that one up. That's not a top of the head one for me.
With Terraform Labs is the one who made it. Yeah, the chain it's on isn't as important to me as like, I don't know, you buy the stuff in the app and then you can sell it, I think, in the app. So you don't really need to be putzing around with stuff on the chain. I haven't bought anything though. It's free to play. So like, yeah, the first one came out in 2014. So they've been developing games for a decade. And they're pretty large mobile developer. And this was oh, here we go. I used to play the original Summoner War launched on mobile. Is one of the first games I remember having live streams or tournaments on Twitch. I feel like the original game defined a lot of the itemization paradigms that were used in most of the future mobile RPG games. Yeah, now you can own those as NFTs, which is pretty sick.
That's pretty dope. Damn. All right. Well,
Jaspaz, you should start if you want to play. Tomorrow we'll be playing if you want to join and play with me. It's like cooperative. You can play in a party, so you, Max, and I could all three play if you're interested. I'm on I chose the healer, so if you're going to choose a class, there's like a tank and a ranged DPS. So choose one of those two if you want to have nice combinations. I also don't really get how it works yet, so maybe you can help walk me through since you played the previous one. So I have like 2 of the creatures I can summon, but I don't really know like their strategy for leveling them up and getting ones that work together. I'm working until 4 and should be home by 6. So maybe you can join us too, Random King. I don't know how many people we can get in a party, but anybody wants to play, we're happy to have you join us. I'm also down to play off stream if you do get it. So just hit me up in Discord. Speaking of,
yeah, hell yeah.
Here's our Discord. If this will post for some reason, it's not posting. Psych. There's not our Discord. Yeah, I saw that because John Linden from Mythical Games said it would be one of the first games to reach over 10 million users in the NFT space. He said there would be 3 games this year that would get over 10 million users. 2 of them were his own games, Nitro Nation and NFL Rivals, and the other one he said was that one. So I was like, okay, if this dude says this is good, I trust. Like, Mythical is my favorite developer. If they're promoting a game they're not even developing, then I will definitely check it out. Here, let's see if I can find that video. I kind of like John Linden. Let's see. I played this, I think, last week and you were not here, but we won't play the whole thing. I think it's like 10 minutes long. Okay, so 6 minutes, but I feel like this guy gives some pretty good information.
A few weeks ago, I heard a wild prediction, and this prediction came from John Linden, who is the CEO of Mythical Games. And you may not have heard of Mythical Games before. I actually think they're far and away the leading gaming publisher in Web3 gaming, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But back to the prediction. Okay, so John Linden said that in 2023, so this year, we would see 3 NFT games reach 10 million players.
Which I think NFL Rivals has already passed 1 million downloads, so they're well on their way.
Okay, we currently have 0, but we would see 3, and that they, Mythical Games, would make 2 of those 3 games. Okay, so they're talking themselves up here. And the first of these games is, one that they released on mobile called NFL Rivals. And this came out about 2 months ago, and they've already broken through 1 million players. And the NFL season hasn't even started yet. Okay, so maybe.
Let's go! And that's what I'm showing off tomorrow. I'll be showing off my strategy to buy into their new set for as cheap as possible. NFL Rivals has been my favorite NFT game since it launched. I play it every day, and I actually enjoy it.
The other game is Summoner's War Chronicles, which is an MMO by a Korean publisher.
And this video is how I found out about this game. Like, I'd never heard of any of this stuff until I watched this video. So shout out to whoever posts this in the Nitro Nation Discord.
Known as Com2US. And this one, I believe, came out last year. And then the third game is one that just released their beta yesterday. And it's one that I haven't seen anyone in the space talk about at all.
I said this last time I played this video. I talked about it the day it launched publicly multiple times.
Yeah.
Follow your boy Lewis or Neon Space if you want to hear about this breaking news, because I'm on top of this stuff.
Finger on the pulse.
Which is kind of weird. And that game is Nitro Nation World Tour. Okay, this is the other Mythical Games title that's coming out. And look, you can see here, this is their beta announcement from yesterday, and it got 300 views. Okay, 12 likes. That's not great. Now, who is Mythical Games? Well, I'm going to throw some facts at you because they're actually a bigger deal than you might realize. Okay, so they've been making NFT games since 2021. They made Blanco's Block Party, which was another game that reached 1 million players. They have
a game that I've been promoting as my favorite NFT game for like 2 years until Rivals was launched.
Their own chain called Mythos, which in the past 30 days has done more volume than any other chain other than Ethereum, Polygon.
I also brought this up last time. This is a little misleading. So most of that volume is not actually on chain. Like, most of that is using other crypto or credit cards to buy stuff on the D marketplace, which is buying Counter-Strike skins, which is not anything. Like, I don't even know how it's considered blockchain volume. It doesn't use their token.
Yeah, it doesn't
and
touch
the
that.
NFTs aren't on the chain, but it does look good for the chart. So keep pumping those charts so people will buy my rival stuff.
Yeah.
And Solana, so they do more than Bitcoin and Cardano and Immutable X. And in terms of the top 5, they're the only ones that are actually growing their volume month over month. They've also raised a shit ton of money. Okay, they've raised over $260 million, which is insane, including this most recent $37 million raise, which they did just a couple of months ago. And so they're valued over $1 billion. Okay, this is a legit unicorn in Web3 gaming. And now they're releasing this game here, Nitro Nation World Tour. And it's a straightforward racing game. You've seen a bunch of these before. You buy cars, you build cars, you race against other people, you join teams and race against other teams, rise up the leaderboards, etc. And yet, not only do they think that they're going to hit 10 million players on this by the end of the year, they actually think they're going to hit 25 million players in the first 12 months. Okay, this came out in beta yesterday. Okay, and they have these expectations. Now, why do they think they're going to hit any of those benchmarks? Well, one of the reasons is that this is actually a sequel to another game called Nitro Nation, which is the third most downloaded racing game on mobile of all time. Okay, this one is by CM Games. They have over 85 million.
They're the same people. Like, Mythical partnered with this brand. Like, CM is labeled on all the cars. So this is like being dual developed. It's almost like published by Mythical, but the game is being developed by CM, I think. So
I think that's a good way to do this. That's a good way to do it. Like, put it into like the hands of successful developers, and then let Mythical be like the blockchain or Web3 like conduit for them, so they don't have to like learn how to do all that, since Mythical has a handle on it.
And I feel like Wax is kind of doing that. Like, they had that racing game that was made.
Yeah.
The issue with Wax is they're taking people who failed in Web 2 and launching failed products in Web 3.
Yeah.
Like, this was a 6.6. This is one of the most successful of all time Web 2 mobile products. So, like, yeah, you want to partner with the right people, not like people are like, my shit didn't sell in Web 2, so let's resell it as a package in Web 3.
Yeah.
That's not the way. You got to take people who are doing it successfully in Web 2 and onboard them to Web 3, which is what Mythical is doing.
Yeah.
Installs been around for a while, and so they think that they can, convert some that audience into this new game. The other reason they think this is going to hit it off is because of NFTs. Okay, play to own, which is this elegant model that they're setting up that they think is going to attract a lot of players when it finally clicks for them. But now the thing to note here is that with Nitro Nation and with NFL Rivals, you don't actually have to buy any NFTs. Okay, you can actually play this game like any other Web 2 mobile game. You go into the in-game store, you buy things. You don't have to interact with NFTs or anything blockchain related. but everything you buy is being stored as an NFT in the background on the Mythos.
That's not totally true. Just like Rivals, there's base cards that are not NFTs, and all the cars I own right now are not NFTs. But you can get spark plugs, which are NFTs, on the marketplace and out of packs, and then those can convert your non-NFTs to NFTs. That is part of the mythical economy. But the free-to-play doesn't just earn you a bunch of NFTs necessarily.
Chain. And later on, you can opt in and basically, set up your wallet and retrieve those NFTs or get access to those NFTs.
In general, this guy's right, though. You can buy NFTs without really knowing you're buying NFTs, and you don't need to sign up for a wallet. And then, if you later sign up for your mythical account, then it'll, you can use it on the marketplace and stuff. So the ease of onboarding is great, which is this guy's point. I just nitpick because I know a lot about this stuff.
And then you get access to all these features that they're putting into the game. Okay, so you're going to have a marketplace where you can trade cars. You can rent those cars out. Let's say you have one that somebody wants to use for a tournament. And then there's one more feature that I thought was the most interesting one of them all. And it's one that's called Race for Keeps.
This one seems super sick. This is like Fast and Furious. You race for the pink slip of the car. You put up your car, and whoever wins the race gets the other person's car.
And Race for Keeps is when you go 1v1 against someone competitively, and then you take a car that you own, you lock it in a smart contract, they do the same, and then you stake it on the result of the race. Okay, so whoever wins the race gets to keep both cars. And these are NFTs that they can then sell on a marketplace. And I thought this was crazy when I heard it. Makes total sense. And here is John Linden in a presentation sort of going through a potential scenario where they're teaming up with FaZe Clan and Porsche and doing something with Race for Keeps.
So what we could do here is we could actually you sell a limited run of 10,000 NFTs.
This is also from the same thing we watched earlier, Max, where it's is the metaverse really going to happen? Where he showed in Blankos where you could run from a game in Unreal Engine to a game in for the other engines, but you're running through portals without having to install a game and able to jump from Fortnite into Minecraft. And I don't know, Mythical's fucking killing it.
Yeah,
no,
they're definitely.
I'm very bullish on Mythical right now.
Just throwing out a number. If you get one of these FaZe Clan cars, you now get to enter an esports tournament in the game. Meanwhile, we give each of these 4 streamers their own one-of-a-kind variant. They have a one-of-a-kind that's dedicated to them. If you place in the top 10 of the esports tournament, I get to challenge one of the pro streamers. If I beat them, I steal their one-of-a-kind car. So why is that really, really awesome, right? Well, to us, it's really cool because Porsche loves it. They're getting an audience with Gen Z. FaZe Clan loves it because they're getting a cut of primary and secondary sales. The players love it because it's a brand new fan engagement model. These guys have millions of followers, right? The ultimate win would be I get to play them, and if I beat them, I steal their one-of-a-kind item. So
your boy right now, me stocking up and learning how to play this game, I'm going to be fucking crushing FaZe Clan. Come at me, FaZe Clan. I'm going to be stealing all of your one-of-ones because I'm fucking early access.
So it's a new way to engage with these audiences.
So, that sounds cool. And he mentions that they're going through, legal approval. So it's not 100% confirmed that this is going to be in the game.
We looked at this last time, and that's literally against the terms of service of Google for NFT apps. But still, cool shit.
I'm excited to dive into that a little bit tomorrow. That should be cool. Also, racing game is pretty easy to pick up and play. Yeah, Toretto mode. I saw that.
Drag racing too, so there's actual no steering. It's just shifting gears. Thank you for the follow, Joe Boy. It's Joe Mama, Joe Boy.
It's Joe Boy. Dope.
Yeah, I'm very excited about Mythical. And again, I'm playing 3 of their games every day. And that's sort of why I've stopped doing wax gaming, is because I just have more fun playing. These are real games. So not to shit on wax too much, but I do think I wish wax was doing stuff like this because I'm a gamer at heart. I'm not I'm interested in crypto investing a little bit, but I'd rather play a fun game than click a token faucet and just earn a token. And the token faucets were worth it on wax when our planet was printing $1,000 a day for us, and when blockchain brawlers I was making $30 a click or whatever. It's yeah, that's worth doing, but once it goes down to being worth a fraction of a cent, then it's I don't know, I'd rather just play a game and not earn anything that's fun than do this. It's not worth my time. And it just seems they're constantly, the goalpost is constantly moving on wax. You just have to constantly buy into the newest pump and dump, the newest type, the newest token faucet. I'm just kind of sick of the cycle. I know how it ends. Same thing happens every time. I'm interested in people developing real games, and like there are some on Wax. I'm not going to say there's no real games, but I just don't have as much fun. So I've been playing a lot of mythical stuff.
Yeah,
$1,000 a day is also fun. I was eating a lot of DoorDash during the Our Planet Glory days, and now I wish I'd turned that money into my bank account and not eaten a bunch of DoorDash. But I lived like a king for like 2 months.
It is fun to print money. Don't get me wrong, but it's not really a game.
Yeah, I also don't think it's sustainable, and like they're building sustainable actual games over in Myth, and that's what I like. They're not trying to be. You might get some pump and dump in the process just because anything Web3 is speculative, and people might hype the price way beyond where it should be, which happened in Blankos. The Blankos market collapsed, and people were flipping every single Blankos for months for profit, and that was not sustainable, and that's why it collapsed. And that could happen to any of the new games as well. But that's why I'm like, I don't know, I'm more cautious, and I try to play free to play and spend as little as money as possible. And that's sort of what I'm going to go for tomorrow. And like the best strategies for playing these games free to play and not spending a lot of money to be able to unlock stuff. And I'm not going to guarantee you can profit off of it, but I can guarantee you can spend the least amount of money and get the most results potentially from it. And that's sort of my strategy, because I've learned aping into this stuff and trying to buy all the mythic stuff when it eventually collapses is not good for your wallet. Because I did that for all of the Wax games, where every token faucet after Our Planet, I like tried to buy my way into printing money, and it just never worked out. It always works out better if you flip your shit and sell out of it quickly, which is like,
flip the hype. That's kind of the meta these days.
I will say Rivals is one of the few ones where like selling into the token was a worse move than if I would have held my cards. Like some of those cards are holding value really well. And I did not think they would. I was like, oh, sell your cards now, sell early. And like, I don't know, they're going down in value kind of in general, but like there's still cards selling for like $200 that I unlocked like the second week of playing. And like, that's pretty unheard of in the NFT spaces for longevity. That's because they're onboarding, they have over 1 million downloads. So like, as long as they keep onboarding new people, it's all supply and demand. But eventually you're going to hit a point where there's 10 million players, there's 20 million players. There's not going to be more players, and then the prices will come down. Like that will happen eventually. It has to. So it always has like a expiration date, but I've been surprised by how well their stuff's been holding value so far. So I don't know. I wouldn't buy it as an investment, but as a game, it's fun. And my strategy is, how do you spend the least amount of money to play this fun game? So that's what you're interested in. Check out tomorrow. I'll be explaining that for the new Rivals program. And I'll show off Nitro Nation and my strategies for that. All right, let's do this giveaway. Let's put a bow on the stream, put a ribbon on it. I got to eat dinner. Max, you also missed last week, or this week, because you weren't here for Tech Day. I did a full music stream. I streamed me and Logic, and I composed new traits for the profile picture project. If you're interested in seeing that, the video on demand is up, but spent like a full hour in Logic.
That's pretty
recorded
dope.
every instrument live. It's pretty fun. We didn't do super well view-wise, because I think most people are more interested in our crypto and gaming content, but I had fun making it, and also that's an hour I needed to spend working on the project anyway, so I got 2 birds stoned at once, finished the traits that I would have had to do after the stream on stream.
Nice.
I don't know. We might do more music streams in the future. In the future, it'd be fun to like, I don't know, like do Twitter votes, and you can use Twitter points to like, not Twitter, Twitch points to like vote for what instrument. Like, what sound do I use? Synthesizer, organ, flute, or like do that, and then y'all can vote on it, and I'll have to do whatever you say. So you can maybe turn it into a more interactive thing, which I think would be fun.
Against your dad.
Oh, Dre.
And he's going to get sliced, though.
People forgot about Dre. Can't forget about him. He wins.
Not this time, baby.
The motherfucking DRE, Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, join us tomorrow. I think it's going to be a fun gaming day. If you're into the NFT gaming, we are also into it. If there's some kick-ass shit coming out on Wax, we'll absolutely be playing that. But like Lewis is saying right now, we're into some of this stuff on Mythical. And then also I'm going to check out my like Tamagotchi over on like, what is it, Oasis chain.
Yeah, we're
all over
bunch of stuff to do tomorrow. But I did buy, I have the key for that like Ubisoft adjacent game. So I do buy into whenever there's like legitimate projects on Wax. I'm fine buying into them and trying them out. Not anti-Wax by any means. It's just I go where the games are, and that's what all gamers will do. Which is also why we're bullish on the Oasis chain, because they have Namkai Bandai Namco and Sega, Ubisoft, and guess who else is a partner? Mythical Games, because Mythical Games is smart as shit and they're putting their stuff in the right place.
We also like reached out to the Wax team years ago and we're like, you should partner with Oasis, and they just don't listen to us.
And I also said they should hit up Square Enix, who's on Oasis, because Square Enix was saying blockchain is the future over 2 years ago, and I was like, they haven't picked a chain yet, so like, please try to onboard them to Wax. And I don't know if they ever even listened to me.
Yeah, I'm also
like,
doesn't listen
to
to
be
us.
fair,
like devs or
I couldn't fucking contact Square Enix. Like, if you're like, hey, go hit up like, I'd get left on red too. So like, it's easier said than done to be like, hey, go onboard this like massive company to your blockchain. Like, it's probably hard to even get in the room or get a phone call with those people. So they might have tried and failed. I can't say that they did or didn't. So I can't like, I don't know. It's easier said than done.
I do feel like
you Wax team for not onboarding them.
I feel like they could have, and they probably still could partner with Oasis though. And I don't think it's.
And I think that would be a very smart idea, because I think gaming is going to be cross chain. And Wax has been building bridges to other chains. So if Wax builds a bridge to Oasis, the gamers are going to go where the games are. So then they'll be more easily to get assets on Oasis and then bridge them over to Wax and be able to use Wax and onboard people that way. So
exactly.
I don't know. I'm in direct contact with Lucas. Maybe I hit up Lucas again. So I was telling Larcy, and Larcy was like, he's like playing telephone with the Wax team. I was like, hey, Larcy, please tell them this. And I'm like, now I have a direct in with the Wax team. So yeah, I'll actually do that right after the stream, because Lucas reads my DMs and he talks to me, and he's very reasonable and he understands like I don't know, like I was talking to him about stablecoin liquidity, and like he's not like, I don't know, he's open to new ideas and he's not just like immediately dismissive, and I feel like he's a very rational, smart person. He's not just going to be like, fuck you. No. Which I feel like sometimes when you're like submitting to like through Discord or like through their email, like they don't even read that shit. It's like, okay, but like I'll at least get a response from them. All right, let's do let's raid into someone. We'll be streaming tomorrow at 2:30 Pacific time to Lost NFT Gaming. We're gonna raid into Novo Pangea.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna play a YouTube song to put
I gotta do my Novo Pangea.
I also haven't done that. I mean, I gotta log in so I can
It's been a couple weeks.
I also think we're getting close to the date where the creature stuff launches. When that goes live, we have some more creature packs to give away.
Sweet. I pulled an epic out of one of my packs. I pulled an epic Shadow Realm creature, so I'm pretty stoked when those go.
Oh, you missed. I pulled one on stream too. Like after you left, I pulled a fucking. It wasn't a legendary. It was like the second highest tier, or it might have been a legendary then. It wasn't a mythic or whatever.
Yeah, it's like mythical, legendary, epic, rare.
Yeah, I think I pulled a legendary on stream after you left because you had to go do something.
I got one below that. I think mine
also
has
pulled
like
a pack
like
with I pulled a pack with an uncommon and then also the creature habitat instead of the. So I got like the land and an uncommon that somebody gets. So I was pulling straight fire out of the other
habitat.
packs.
I have the habitat. I just don't have the land to build it on yet. So I gotta get back on my Nova and see if I can grind out enough shit.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Buying the dip will play us out.
Man, your boy Kevin just lost lots of money. Oh, that's okay. I am with you. Here we go, come on, push it, buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Oh my God, what's happening?
First of all of this whining by Wall Street is making me sick. 140% of GameStop was short. GameStop was short. You can't allow Wall Street to short 75% of its crush these companies into the dirt. Thousands of stocks into the dirt.